Plans are in the works to create the world's number 3 automaker.
This move from Honda and Nissan has been in the planning for a while. They've already been working together on electrification technologies this year. The deal announced on Monday could also include a third car maker, Mitsubishi, which has been in a partnership with Nissan since 2016. The Japanese government has suggested it would welcome the merger. It's worried about the country's auto industry's competitiveness against China. If the deal goes through, as suggested by August 2026, it would create the third biggest car maker by sales in the world, potentially making around 8 million cars a year.
The BBC's James Wickham. Mourners have been placing flowers near the scene of the deadly Christmas market attack in Germany. The suspect is a Saudi doctor who arrived in Germany in 2006 and had received permanent residency in the country. News and analysis at townhall.com. One country in southeastern Europe is banning a Chinese-owned video sharing app.
Albania's Prime Minister says the ban on TikTok his government's announced was not a rushed reaction to a single incident. Prime Minister Edi Rama adds the government will shut down TikTok for 1 year, accusing the popular video service of inciting violence and bullying, especially among children. Authorities have held over 1,000 meetings in Albania with teachers and parents since the November stabbing death of a teenager by another teen after a quarrel that started on social media apps. I'm Charles Dulatesma.
China says a plan by the Philippines to deploy mid-range missiles would be a provocative move, stoking regional tension. A senior Philippines Army official says his military plans to acquire a mid-range system to defend the country's territory amid tensions with China in the South China Sea. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters. That's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me, Mike Winters. No, Mixmaster Mike Winters is off gallivanting, I think somewhere over on the rightmost coast, near the East Coast in the Maryland area, enjoying the Christmas week with his family out there in the Maryland, D.C. area. And, of course, a much-needed and much-deserved break for Mixmaster Mike Winters. But in his stead, in his absence, you got me. You got the second Banana Smalls in the captain's chair for at least today and for Friday. Let me explain the programming schedule for this week. We're going to be running the Gil Gross Christmas Spectacular tomorrow in place of this show, as well as Thursday morning, the day after Christmas, in place of this show. Now, on Christmas Day itself, we invite you to gather around your radios as you gather around the tree. If you're opening up presents and you need something to throw on in the background, we're going to have the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas Spectacular. That's going to be playing instead of this show on Wednesday on Christmas Day. So you'll have your chance to enjoy some fantastic Mannheim Steamroller music, and as well as some other fantastic artists inspired by the steam, if you will, by the Mannheim. And you'll be able to enjoy that. And then on Thursday, again, the Gil Gross show going to be taking place of this show. Then on Friday, I'll be back here one more time in the captain's chair to regale you with stories of Christmas. Christmases this Christmas and Christmases long, long ago as well. So that is the programming schedule, as it were. Merry Christmas Eve to all of you out there in the listening range. If you've got plans for the holidays, well, good on you. I myself personally, I'm laying low this Christmas. I got the kids' presents. We're gonna get the stockings loaded up. I'm gonna do my Christmas with them after they have Christmas with Mom. I didn't even do a tree at my house this year.
I was going to ask. You got a tree?
No, I didn't do a tree this year. I was going to do a wreath. Didn't do that. I don't know, man. I just call it a humbug up my butt. I just wasn't feeling it this holiday season. I
weren't feeling it this year.
I was feeling it enough to get my kids, their Christmas. I want to make sure they have their Christmas. And actually, my daughter's last present should be getting here today. It was supposed to get here on Saturday, but it should be here today. So kids are going to be happy. I'm good. I get. See, and this is the other problem is being working the way we do. We get paid on the 25th. So I think this month we actually get paid on the 24th, which means I'm going to be rushing around tomorrow on Christmas Eve doing my last minute Christmas shopping.
Yeah,
and it's sort of it puts a kink in things. How about yourself? You got your tree up?
No, we don't. We're not that kind of.
You're like, no, we're Jewish.
No.
I would have never guessed. Well, then, shalom to you and to yours. So are you just not feeling it either this year?
No, I wasn't feeling it either. Like, it's funny because it's like I didn't even want to buy people things, even though I know that's the point of Christmas is to buy other people stuff.
Well, I mean that's an arguable idea. The point of Christmas is to celebrate, the birth of Jesus, if that's your thing. If not, it's
sure.
It's to enjoy time with friends and family. I feel like is the reason for the season. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. Commercialism, and it's a good thing.
But my father of mine insists that we buy, other family members' presents and stuff. And it's like, but I don't wanna.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. No, and then there's that forced
got bills
jolliness.
To pay now.
Yeah, exactly. There's that forced jolliness around this time. You're gonna go to a Christmas party and like, haha, I'm wearing a funny sweater. You're wearing a fun sweater. Let's have some hot eggnog or whatever it is we drink around this time of year. But yeah, no, it's been a hard year to get into the holly jolly of it all. But for those of you out there who do a more traditional Christmas and you are in the festive mood, far be it from me to Grinchify your holiday. I don't want to be that guy. So happy holidays to you and to yours. Merry Christmas, obviously, but I'm also taking into consideration the 2 Jewish people that we have in Roswell. Warren and Miss Rita. And of course, Kwanzaa as well. But there's New Year's in there, too. That's a holiday.
Yes.
So, I personally am excited to put a cap on this thing we call 2024 and head on into a new year. Maybe some new possibilities. We're going to see what happens. We're gonna buckle up and what's that saying? Stick yourself to the steely place. No, steel yourself to the screwing place. And put your head down and kind of power through.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all we can do.
You pull yourself by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
Which is physically impossible, by the way.
It is. I wear tennis shoes and they don't even have straps. So, but we carry on. Let's.
The Barbara Gomez did have a little Christmas market here.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, and that kind of lifted my spirits up a little bit because we had the electric light parade, and I don't think we've had that in a while. Or
I peaked for holiday holly jolliness.
No.
The day I posted on Facebook that I wanted to get a group of people together and go Christmas caroling. I'm like, okay, cool. This could be our year.
Yeah.
And it just sort of all kind of dwindled out of me, the holly jolly of it all from that point on. We got a long interview we got to get to, so we really need to get the show going. Let me give you the rundown of today's program. I'm going to replay a couple interviews in the 7 and 8 o'clock hour. First up at 7:15, around the 7:15 or so, we're going to replay our interview that Mike had with County Manager Bill Williams. They just kind of run down all the good stuff in the last County Commission meeting of the year. So we'll play that around 7:15 or so. Around 8:15, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had with Elliot Rodriguez on Friday from Loan Depot, bringing in his knowledge, of course, and the money to get you financed for your next home purchase. Then again, in the 9 o'clock hour, around 9:15, we're going to have the folks from American Legion, I believe, post 61, just kind of giving us a year in review, if you will, a wrap up. We'll talk a little bit about Wreaths Across America and that whole program, and just what the Legion has going on in general. That is the rundown for this show on this Christmas Eve. Right now at 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. I know this machine gets a little finicky, so let me do this here. All right, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Upper level high pressure covering our area, and things look good all the way through Christmas Day. Fairly mild. We'll be in the upper 60s to about 70 and sunny today. Overnight looks clear with mid 30s, and then we're expecting low 60s for the high on Tuesday. Should stay sunny. Christmas Day looks nice with mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then about 60 and fair Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, about 35 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is at 64%. Winds out of the northeast at around 5 miles an hour, with a barometer of 30.01 inches and a dew point of 24 degrees. I like a low dew point. Makes me happy. Looking at some very non-Christmas-y weather this for the lead up to Christmas. For Christmas Eve, we got a high of 70 degrees under partly sunny skies. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming north later in the afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to 33 for the overnight low. For Tuesday, sunny skies, 62 degrees for the high. Winds out of the north at about 5 miles an hour, becoming east in the afternoon. Increasing clouds, low of around 35 for your Tuesday night. And for your Christmas Day, as mentioned, mostly sunny, 62 degrees for the high. Winds southbound, or out of the south, 5 to 15 miles an hour. 15 minutes after 7 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple bills, and after this, we'll be replaying the interview with Bill Williams from Friday on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
Registration for the spring semester is on now at ENMU Roswell. A great career in healthcare, arts and sciences, or technical trades is waiting for you. Now's the time to skill up and get certified. Register today for spring 2025 classes and talk with an advisor. Log on to roswell.enmu.edu. ENMU Roswell, success starts here.
Success starts here. ENMU Roswell.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Chavis County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm really happy. It's going to be so warm. Christmas here.
Right.
You're telling me you're going to Maryland where it's going to be really cold.
Yeah, y'all could maybe wear shorts on Christmas Day. Me, not so much.
No.
But yeah. So, are you ready for the Christmas holiday here? Or?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see if I succeeded in getting appropriate gifts for my wife.
Right.
So.
Is that kind of your big? Like
yeah.
if
I take care of that, she takes care of everything else.
Got
yes.
all the kids and grandkids and everybody covered. You got.
She knows it's all I can do just to take care of one or two gifts without worrying about everything else. Although we did go out, I think it was Tuesday evening after work, we went out to Marshall's to get some last minute stuff. It's, oh my gosh, why did we do this? But she was very efficient. We got through it.
Good. Yeah, 'tis the season, and this weekend, exercise patience, because they're all in the same boat you are, just trying to scramble to find those gifts that you've been scratching your head to figure out and get for the last month now. So, but be busy weekend here.
Yep.
So. Good deal. Well, county is, I don't know, is this a busy time of year for county commissioner? Or is this kind of that's a lot of housekeeping this time of year.
It's not real busy. I mean, January we have a lot of housekeeping stuff. You know, we have to do the Open Meetings Act resolutions and all that kind of stuff. The thing, we have our employee longevity pins twice a year. So we do them in December and July.
So this is kind of a fun time of year,
and so,
honoring and celebrating.
You know, we had 10% of our staff who's been there 5 years or longer, all the way up to 26 years, I think.
Wow.
Janet Garcia, I think, had 26. I'm pretty sure that's right. But anyway, I mean, we keep our staff, obviously, and like I pointed out to the commissioners, it's because of their leadership, you know, from the top that people feel so at home at the county. But we honored, I think it was right at 10% of our staff for 5 years or more. We'll do the same thing in July, and we'll do the same thing then again next December. So December's not real busy. We do a mid-year budget adjustment. We have meetings with the Finance Committee in December to see how we are as far as what the budget was established and make augmentations to that as necessary. And so that's always a big part of the December meeting. And of course, this year was an election year. So along with the employee longevity stuff, we had 2 commissioners and a treasurer who are stepping off. Well, we'll be doing
swearing in here in.
Well, we're going to do it December 31st at 10 a.m. at the County Commission chambers. So if anyone wants to come support their local elected official,
it's usually a quiet week there, that Tuesday before New Year's and all that.
Yeah, and Judge Carson graciously agreed to do the swearing in for us this year. He was available and more than willing. He's just so easy to work with. We really appreciate him.
And but we're saying thank you and sending off our folks that are finished their terms of service.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good deal.
And of course, we had proclamations. We had a proclamation for Commissioner Bilberry. We had a proclamation for Commissioner Ezell, and we had a proclamation for Charlotte Gourlay, Andrade Gourlay, who's our retiring treasurer. She also got a retirement plaque. So it was really a pleasant day. I mean, just a real family feel. You know, it's like everybody's celebrating everybody else's good fortune, and it's a fun time.
And here's the thing too, is because you look and you say, well, that's a lot of leadership that's leaving the building here, and you're not wrong,
right.
But all those folks, they love and you're committed, and anytime I'm sure a county commissioner or anyone in that in the treasurer's office has a question, it's a phone call away. You know what I mean? They're
right.
Just
and of course we're in good shape. I mean, Chanel Ray is our newly elected treasurer. She's been working there a while, and she's going to take the reins and
the folks that are replacing them
move right ahead. Commissioner Wade, Commissioner Korn, they're all going to be great additions to our team, and we're just really thankful that we have such a good team, and our staff is so great.
Well, and that's where you look at, especially when you look at it's like certain elected positions that really are not about politics and about the skill set of what you are able to do, like clerk and treasurer. Those kind of jobs. And the great thing about it is they really do kind of build from within. Like the people that like your treasurer and your clerk, they were in the office for many years learning the job before actually becoming the treasurer or the clerk.
And I think Charlotte, our treasurer, had 23 years with the county in various roles. So I mean, she's not just a one-trick thing over here. This is all I know. I mean, she was very.
But in a world of
finance,
to know how all the departments do finance is very useful
and interact. And there's a lot of value in our employees that come on and move from one department to another and just learn more and more skills. Even if there's not a full overlap, just having that understanding of how everybody else is doing, how the sausage is made, I think is the way you like to say it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then kind of going back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, again, people enjoy working there because benefits are good, the environment's good. I mean, all the recipes there where people are happy there. And so when the county does these twice a year, honoring of longevity stuff, it's always, I mean, it's 5+, and then there's a bunch of those, and then you get into 10, and every year there's always a 25+ in there. Every single time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that there were 6 or 7 20-year pins given out yesterday. It was really an amazing thing. But you gave me a perfect segue. You said, the county has good wages, and we always encourage people to keep an eye on what's going on at the county, and might find a home there for yourself.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the things that we did yesterday. We do that mid-year. We evaluate where there may be shortfalls or shortcomings. We've had some trouble at the road department, for instance, filling the Road 1 positions, because those positions, they need to be able to drive a truck. They have to have a CDL license.
Gotcha.
And we have a little bit of flexibility there. We could maybe hire them, but they have to have their license within a few months, But we work with people on that. They've got the experience.
And I imagine that's a competitive position.
Well,
a lot of people need CDLs. And
right.
So
and when you get a CDL, there are lots of milk truck drivers. There are lots of oil field truck drivers needed.
Those are, and those when it's booming, they go there, but when it's bust, then it's
right.
Yeah.
The stability of the county is one of our main points, but we do want to be competitive with our wages too. Oil field's not for everybody. Some people don't like to work 12-hour shifts, come home, sleep a few hours, and get up early and go again.
County pace is a little bit slower than the oil field pace.
and it's steady, and it's kind of like the hare and the tortoise story. Slow and steady wins the race. If you kind of look at what you get over a career working for an entity such as Chaves County versus the hit and miss and in some of these other things. I'm not saying they all are that way, but certainly there's a lot of that.
And the way the road department, everything works, it's all routine. It's all yes, they triage emergencies and things, but there's a regular maintenance schedule. I'm sure we're going to start this part of the county and work around, and then we get back here and start over.
Certain time of the year, chip seal is the main thing. Other times of the year, winter, when it's colder and you can't do chip seal, road maintenance and repairs are more the norm.
Sure.
And of course, solid waste and all that. But our Road 1 positions, we felt we were having trouble getting people to apply, or if they applied when we offered it to them, I can't work for that. So we reevaluated that, and we decided, okay, we need to bump what they get paid. Well, you can't just bump one section on a chart without affecting everybody else, because then it compresses it where there's really no incentive now to become a Road 2, because that's only a few cents more.
It upsets the balance of the cart there.
Right.
If you got too many top ends and and at some point you're like, well, there's no incentive for me to promote because the money's not that much better, and I'm quite frankly I'm a sweet responsibility versus pay ratio right here.
So that was one of the charts that we reevaluated over the last couple of months, and we took it to the finance committee and made sure that budget wise we could do this, and so we adjusted the chart. There were some other individual jobs throughout the county that had to be moved up and down. For one thing, there's a new law going into effect in January, so if they're a salaried person, they make less, I think, than $52,864. I could be off a little bit on that dollar amount. You have to pay them overtime. Doesn't matter if they're a salaried employee, they have to get overtime now. So there are many people on our charts that were just, in a spot. And a lot of our people, they're hourly employees, they get overtime. But there are also some other positions that are salaried positions, as they should be, because they only work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And it's a very steady thing. There's no likelihood of overtime.
Right.
But they made it to where you have to pay overtime on these positions if you don't go to a certain amount. And so
that's saying anything they work over 40 hours, they get overtime.
Yeah, which is fine.
Sure.
And we do that with all our hourly positions, because fair is fair. I mean, if you're going to work 10 hours, we want to pay you for 10 hours. You're going to work 12, we want to pay you for 12. But at the same time, if you have a steady 8-hour job and you work 5 minutes over today and 5 minutes less yesterday, we might be able to work that out. But but the way the new law was, we couldn't do that. So we had to augment some of those pay plans to do that. But the other one,
that's the other thing with salary, because and so, just for example, I'm a salaried employee. but mine's a little bit different than others. There could be, because there's days where yes, the Monday through Friday I'm here, but then there could be Saturdays, there could be Sundays,
right.
But then
state football games.
Yeah, it just varies. But then there's days here where maybe today's not an 8-hour day. I do the morning show and then sayonara till tomorrow. So you know what I mean?
Yep.
It all works out in the wash here.
Exactly.
But to say 40 hours this week and then I had 52 this week. Next, it's kind of, that's why I'm on a thing. I don't know how that's going to work for some cases. That might companies are going to have to do some finagling on that one.
Well, and that's exactly what we had to do. We had to figure out the best way to take care of both the employee and the county and the taxpayer. Ultimately, that's what it amounts to. When you're managing the county, you're looking out after the monies people pay in and try to make sure that you have money to fix the road. You have money to provide this service. So
absolutely.
So that was one thing. Another thing that's kind of exciting, I guess. I'm sure there's some mixed emotions on how this works, but during the election, there was an amendment to the state constitution, Amendment number 4, which allowed local elected officials to determine what the pay is for local elected officials. So rather than the state doing things, we talked about this before, the further away that those decisions are made, the less likely they are to match what you need in your actual community.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this amendment number 4 allowed was elected officials. Previously, the salary was set by the state. So you have a Class A county, a Class B plus, and a Class B minus counties, and they set the salary in Santa Fe and say this is the maximum that these people can make.
Okay.
Now you can be less than that, but you cannot go over that amount, is what was previously in place. The problem is the salaries were not conducive to getting experienced people to come in unless they had another means of income.
Sure.
For instance, the sheriff, most law enforcement sheriffs that run, they've already retired and they are allowed to double dip from retirement, and they can take a cut in pay. Currently, our sheriff makes about $30,000 less than a lieutenant could. It depends on where they're at on the chart, but a lieutenant could make as much as $30,000 more than the sheriff. And then the undersheriff or chief deputies in all of these offices, they usually make about 5% less than, that's the maximum, 5% less than the elected official. So if you're running for sheriff, you might be retired and can do that, but how are you going to draw a lieutenant up or even a sergeant up to be your undersheriff?
He has to be retired too, or she has to be retired too,
because they can't afford to give up the money. So what this has done is allowed us, and in the other offices, say the clerk, the treasurer, the assessor, in those offices, you have your staff, and different people make different amounts depending on the complexity of their duties. You have people that are not the elected official that are making more than the elected officials because those salaries were actually pretty low. And so it allowed each local county to determine what those salaries should be for their people. And, in some counties, it's been all over the place. The county's been sharing back and forth what's going on. Some counties have gone to very extreme. Other counties have done virtually nothing. But it does open up the pool of people to apply. For instance, and it only applies to the people that are coming into office. Someone who's already there, you cannot give them a raise after they've been elected. They can't give themselves a raise. So anyway, the raises are basically for the new people coming in.
For an instance here, Sheriff Mike Harrington will not see it because
no, he won't. But
he'll have to physically not be sheriff anymore.
But in 2 years, we will adjust that salary and try to get it.
But say like for right now, for the next cycle, Charles East is running for sheriff. Now he would fall into that.
Yeah,
because
whoever
he's becoming the new sheriff. He's getting an upgrade.
But he's also the undersheriff now, and he cannot get a raise.
Yeah, as undersheriff, he won't get the raise. But as an elected sheriff, he would. So it makes sense.
So that's it. It only happens in the future when someone new comes in, and that prevents people from giving themselves a raise in a way. So,
and I think what their plan is that if Charles gets elected, he's going to have Mike his undersheriff, so that in theory he's going to start a new position too there.
And
that would fall under his umbrella as well.
Yeah, and we'll see how all that shakes out. But
sure.
But
they got to get elected. I'm just saying.
It's a good thing that local government can determine. In our community, we feel like law enforcement. We're fortunate in Chaves County. We support our law enforcement. We do not defund. In fact, we fund our law enforcement, which is one of the reasons why lieutenants make so much more than the sheriff, because over the years we've continually tried to do things to recruit good law enforcement, retain good law enforcement, and make sure that they've got the monies that they need to do it. So now we need to make sure that attracts the best of the best.
And I'm going to take a stab, and I don't know the whole, how the inner workings of the sheriff, the department is, but the sheriff and undersheriff, they're stomping out fires. As far as running the day-to-day shifts, running everything, it's usually the lieutenants that are calling the shots, assign everybody. If you want to know what's going on in the sheriff's department, the lieutenant's usually the one who knows all this information. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's why they get paid what they get. Whereas an undersheriff and the sheriff, of course, they're lightning rods, obviously, but they triage. They handle. If there's something getting let out of hand, then they come on to do their thing.
And the undersheriff, he's like the chief administrator. So I mean, his duty is to assure that all the paperwork gets done and all that kind of stuff. And he does depend on.
And then make sure the sheriff is going where the sheriff.
And the lieutenants depend on the sergeants, and the sheriff, like you say, is kind of the lightning rod in a lot of ways.
But at the end of the day, Charles, like, all right, sheriff, you're going to be here now. Now you're going to be here.
Yeah, he makes the decisions, obviously, but his role is certainly different than the undersheriff, which is certainly different than the day-to-day boots on the ground, like you say, those lieutenants and sergeants.
But as far as like dealing with what the sheriff's department deals with is their job and their business. Lieutenant's the one who's kind of handling a lot of the work you think of that's police work kind of stuff.
Better get back to our agenda.
We get sidebarred real easy. Or I do anyway.
I do very easily. So we amended the Chaves County Building Code Ordinance number 60. And the reason we did that is because we are now a full-service inspection team at Chaves County. Originally, we only had building inspections. So if you needed an electrical inspection or a plumbing inspection, you had to contact the state. And that's a good program, but it does take longer. They have so many areas to cover.
It's not very streamlined or efficient.
It might take days depending on where the inspector is physically located before it can get to your area. Having it local certainly works. You make a call, we can be there more than likely this afternoon, but at the latest in the morning. It works pretty good. If you
it's within a reasonable window of time.
You drive down to the county building and you can get your permit, whereas the state, you have to send all this in, and then it might be 3-4 weeks before you get a permit. So, and I'm not saying that they don't do a good job, because they do a wonderful job, but it's just a different method of getting it done.
It's a lot.
And so it's always better to have a local jurisdiction, like City of Roswell. They have a full contingent of inspectors, and they can inspect anything and everything. In the county, previously, we only had building inspectors. Then we added the electrical inspector, which made it a little bit better. But still, if you were building a house, you still had to go through the state to get your mechanical and plumbing inspections. And so finally, over a period of years, we've been building that up, and we now have plumbing and mechanical inspector who used to work for the state. He's very, very knowledgeable. We have an electrical inspector that's retired from Excel, very, very knowledgeable. We have our new building inspector who's breaking out into this, a experienced builder. So we have a full contingent of inspectors. So if you're doing anything, be sure and get your permit from the county, and we'll have somebody out. One of the other things we did is we augmented our fee schedule. And one of the things that has been bothering me for a while, this is an agricultural community, and we certainly need to inspect agricultural buildings. But then again, we don't need to inspect them or charge a fee the same as you would for someone building a house, because that's multiple inspections. You have to check the foundation before the concrete. You got to check it after. You got to check the framing. You got to make sure all the anchor bolts are
a lot of different safety criteria in a barn versus a house.
And a hay barn, for instance, if you just do it by square footage like you do a house, it can cost $2,500 for a hay barn. And farmers build 2-3 hay barns sometimes, and that's kind of cost prohibitive.
Absolutely.
When in fact, all that the county wants to do is assure that when the wind gets up, the barn doesn't end up hitting a car as it's driving
halfway
by.
to Texas.
And so, we hope that people will call for inspections like they need to. It makes things smooth and streamlined, rather than going back later and saying, "Hey, we noticed that you built a barn," and so now there's just a nominal inspection fee. I think it's $110, something in that neighborhood. That way we can assure that yep, those footings are going to hold this barn down when the wind blows 70 miles an hour in the spring.
Yeah.
That's all we need to look at. We don't need to make multiple trips. The tin's on, screwed down well, it's good. And that benefits our agriculturalists to get the professionals to come out and take a look and make sure they're getting what they're paying for, what they're building is adequate if they're doing it themselves. But at the same time, it doesn't cut into their business, because that's certainly not what our goal is. Our goal is to keep the public safe, and certainly the more elaborate a structure is, electrical, plumbing, all that kind of thing, then there's a lot more requirements. There's a lot more need for the requirements. There's a lot more visits to the site, and of course you have to compensate us for that. So,
right, time is money. And,
so we got that. We had a simple agreement between us, the Boys and Girls Club at Chaves County. They were a recipient of a grant from the legislators in Santa Fe, and we are their fiscal agent. In order to take the money and then give it to them, we have to have an agreement between us. And so it's just kind of a housekeeping thing. We have an agreement in place. We just have to make sure that it's renewed in a timely manner.
I'm sure there's a checklist of criteria they meet to qualify for the money each time, or something that you, I guess, are managing to see.
Well, when they apply for funds, we have to do all the reporting because we're the fiscal agent. So we have to show that the money is being used for what they ask for.
Gotcha.
You know, if it's programs for kids, then we need to assure that those programs are happening.
So there's that checks in place to make sure that's
and they didn't use it to,
build a bar.
Build onto the building or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So we have our agreements in place, and it's just one of those things that we do before we issue the money to them. We and then we still monitor. So.
But it's all routine, just part of the process kind of thing.
Another thing we've been working on for several years is cleaning up the county. There are some areas, and every area of the county is kind of unique and different, and what flies here might not fly as well over here, but there are standards in place. There are some properties throughout the county that have gone way overboard on cleaning up. They've just got garbage, they've got cars, trucks, trailers turned upside down, and just a mess. And it brings a lot of problems to every community when that happens. And like I say, we don't go out and number 6,
not nitpicking.
We're not nitpicking, but
when it's a clear hazardous situation going on here,
and
then
you
we need to step in.
And you end up having people move in and live in cars and all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be going on. And so when those things happen, we try to keep an eye on it. So we did a condemnation resolution. Planning and zoning, they are monitoring the worst of the worst. They try to get people to correct their issues on their own. If they won't correct them, we have no choice but to condemn and clean up. And so there were 10 properties.
And these processes, when this happens, this is not an overnight thing.
Oh, no.
This is years and years of talking and back and forth.
And legal actions.
So when it does come to these, where it gets to the end game, where you're seizing property or cleaning it up yourself and footing them the bill on it, trust me, it's years and years of back and forth before they got to that. So people that say, well, you don't have a right, trust me, they don't want to do this either. This was last resort at that point.
No, it's as you say, it's many, many, many steps. We don't want your property. We don't seize property. Now, if we have to go in and clean it up, if we have to pay someone else to clean it up, we are going to file a lien on your property. But we have exhausted every single option before we get there. And like I say, this is 10 properties for the next year. So, I mean, it's not like we're knocking on every door and saying, you have an extra car out front. You're only allowed 2 or whatever. We don't do that by any means.
No, but if you've got piles of burning tires or things that are legitimately a health issue to the community, then we need to deal with that.
You've got piles of garbage and rats and things that are encroaching on the neighbors. Those are serious things. You have a fire hazard that could burn down a whole neighborhood. Those are serious things.
And unfortunately, the flood we just had here exposed even more, like some of this stuff, because now it started floating. People's things started and I know I heard lots of reports of some of the newly created rivers during the flood of some of the nastiness that was coming down that river. It's the result of this. People, delinquent and just really doing some shady stuff out there.
Yeah. So anyway, we got that taken care of. Let's see what else we got. The 2024 applications for our road stuff. We do that every year.
'Tis the season.
In December, we do the new road hearing schedule for the following year. So at the end of this month until I think it's February 3rd, if you have a road action you need to have done, whether that's a new road request, a road maintenance status change, or a road vacation, that's the time to put in the application. Chavis County only does it once a year. It's a whole process. In May, they determine the status of the road. So if, for instance, you have a road that you want us to take over, in May they approve it, and you have from May till December, so you have a good 6 months to bring the road up to the standard that's required for the county to take it on. And so we review them once again in December to assure whether or not they met that standard or not.
And this is also the same, too, if you want to go the opposite. If you're saying, hey, the county needs to stop paying for this, we will take over. I mean, that's not as often, but this is also that same time for that.
But yeah, and the vacations actually, if you vacate a road, say, the county doesn't even need to have any part of this.
Yeah.
If you vacate a road, it reverts back to the landowners on either side of the road, and once that vote is done in May, that's done. Then they no longer touch it. But
they
for
still got to
instance,
research on it.
If you have a road that's being maintained and you want it to be non-county maintained, the county still needs to keep the right of way, but you don't need to be coming out here every year fixing it. That happens occasionally.
Sure.
And so those are a little bit
But
different
there's a lot
things.
of studying to determine, do we need to truly vacate it or no? There is still enough business here where the county needs to keep tabs on it.
And we ended up with 2 roads that sort of carried through to December this year. So one of them, it is a new road request. Everything's in place to do it, but it did not get brought up to standard. And it's kind of a complex thing. It goes across some federal lands, and there's an oil company that's doing some stuff there. The oil company is probably going to bring it up to standard, but it didn't get done. Now, there's no harm, no foul. They just apply again next year. It doesn't put them at the end of the queue or anything else.
Sure.
It just.
But if they're trying to get what they want to get done, it's going to slow that down.
And we certainly couldn't take it until it meets all the criteria. So
anytime you got multiple federal, oil company, private people, and everybody else involved, that's a lot of chiefs in one room trying to figure something out.
And so that one didn't pass, but we expect it to continue to move forward next year. They just didn't quite get all their ducks in a row before it was done. So the county would not take that on and pass that liability on to the taxpayers. That's another thing. We make sure that it's done to standard, so that you and I don't have to pay for a lawsuit when somebody goes off the crater at the end of the road.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other one was way in the south part of our county. It takes you longer to get there than it'll probably take you to get to Maryland.
Is this like out in the Boot Hill area?
Yeah, it's way south and west in the Boot Hills. So all the way down there was a very narrow road across a lot of BLM property, and it's a great hunting spot, is my understanding. And
probably because it's way, way out there, not a lot of people know about it.
There is a lot of rock down there, and over the years, water has washed things out, and I mean, it's just a huge problem. I mean, it was, I believe the part that we were looking at was right around 9 miles. There's 12, I think, total. Goes into the forest, Lincoln Forest in Otero County at the end of the road. So, I mean, this is a big, long stretch of road that's not something the county wants to take on a regular basis. Every time it rains, be down there. So we worked with the landowner. We worked with the local Bureau of Land Management. We worked with Chavis County. And the federal government had some money. They put forth the money to bring that road up to standards, got in. And we made some augmentations to what we normally would consider a normal road, rather than being 20 foot wide and crowned. And they said a single lane, just so people can get in and out. It'll keep
you want to
people
preserve the
trapped.
beauty and not make it look like
Right. And part of the problem with a road like that, if it goes across federal lands or it goes across someone's private land, where the road is where you're allowed to travel. If the road is washed out and people need to get to the other side, what do? You drive around it. Well, that's someone's private property, and now you're affecting that. And so that's why we all have to work together on these things to assure that it's doesn't affect the private property or the federal property.
Infringe upon the rights of others.
But the county can't just go in and fix roads. I mean, we have an anti-donation clause in our state constitution. It doesn't allow us to do things unless certain parameters we're within certain parameters. So anyway, that was a win. The federal government came up with the money to fix that and get it to where the rancher can come and go as he needs to, where hunters can come and go without going out on the ranch.
But
and
preserve
the county
the pretty country without creating a big old asphalt, honking highway out there.
And it's like we were talking a minute ago, it's a non-county maintained right-of-way now, which means we don't have to go out there every year, but whenever deemed appropriate, the road superintendent can say, we need to get out there and fix that washout or blade that road before hunting season or maybe only every 2 years or something, whatever comes out of it.
But there's some good camping area up there if you know some people.
Yeah, there'd be some good stuff. I'm sure we're running low on time.
We got about 5 minutes here.
Oh, shoot, I have all kinds of time.
We got about 5 minutes.
You and I can cover a lot of topics or none in
or
5
none
minutes.
In one really bad one in 5 minutes.
We asked for permission to publish for 2 public hearings next month. One of those is every odd year we have to have a public hearing regarding a potential low-income tax rebate ordinance. It's never been passed, but it's in the state law that every odd year we have to go and have a public hearing and see if it's appropriate for us to have a rebate for people with certain low tax. And kind of there are several problems with that. One is it's very subjective what low income means. There are so many parameters that could come into play, and
low is compared to what here? Exactly.
Yeah. And so we have to have that hearing every year. It has never been passed, but we ask for permission to publish before we do a public hearing like that. Open Meetings Act requires us to publish it in the newspaper. We don't just publish, hey, you're going to have an open a hearing next month, a case. And so we get permission to do that before we do it. So we ask for permission to publish for regarding a potential low-income tax rebate ordinance. The other permission to publish we ask for, we need to look at the Indigent Healthcare Ordinance number 58 and make some minor clarifications. It's a good, solid ordinance, but one of the things we're wanting to do, currently we have a separate IHC, Indigent Healthcare, meeting prior to the commission meeting once a quarter. So everybody comes at 8:30, and it literally takes 5 to 10 minutes tops to deal with all the business they have at IHC, and we could do that as a portion of the regular county commission meetings.
Sure.
Our meetings aren't hours and hours long, so we can easily do that. So that's one of the little changes we want to make, is clarify that, clean it up.
Just to streamline the
it allows us to do it now. It's just it'll be cleaner if we open that ordinance up and correct that, and a couple other minor things need to be changed.
Putting the boxes in line and prettied and make it looking organized.
We also, like I say, we did the road hearing schedule, and that's all in place now. We asked the commission if we could terminate a lease. We have a ongoing lease that auto renews every December 31st. We can only do that for 4 years, but anyway, it was set to auto renew on December 31st, and some things changed with the tenant. We leased the building, and then we sublet it back to La Casa de Buen Salud, who provides some services there. It turned out that building is no longer the ideal place for them to do what they need to do. They said it's a little more than they need to pay. And you may or may not recall, about 6 or 8 years ago now, probably, the mental health provider in the community kind of left suddenly. And
I remember that, yeah.
So the city and the county rented this building from the owner, and the city and the county split the cost of the rent to get them in and get them established and let them get their feet on the ground and everything. Subsequently, the city stepped out of that, which left the county and the La Casa paying the rent on that, and we've continued to pay a portion of their rent for quite some time. And like I say, it came to our attention recently that they felt like that was probably a bigger lease than they needed, and so we made arrangements with the people we lease it from to terminate the lease, and of course we notified La Casa that we have to move out, And it doesn't happen by it doesn't have to happen by December 31st.
Gotcha.
The contract does allow for carryover, for holdover. So
they don't have to be out by.
We've got some time.
But I'm
to
guessing
get it done.
they're on the hunt now for a new facility or place.
Yeah, well, they have some other facilities within town. So I don't know what they're
going to try to absorb all of it maybe through the other facilities.
You know,
maybe,
I'm not real sure how they're going to move forward.
But they got a plan in place. They're working a plan for that.
And there are other mental health providers now. You know, I've talked to other healthcare professionals in the community and said, "Where are we at?" You know, and they said, "Oh, it's a totally different landscape than it was, say, 5 years ago." There are now additional providers that can.
The more we have, the better.
Yeah, and we all, of course, that was the county's first concern was what is this going to do?
Yeah,
and we
how's
didn't
that going to impact services?
Right. But anyway, we worked with our partner here, and we're want to continue to work with them. We also lease some other spaces to them that the county actually owns. So La Casa de Buena Salud has a healthcare office over near the public health office on Grand Street. So public health is on Chisholm, and then Grand is the street right behind. Sure. They've got an office there. They also have a mental health care or behavioral health. I don't know the proper term. 1010 South Garden. That building is ours, and we lease it to them at a very discounted rate because of the services they provide to the community. And that works out real well because we can say, here's how many people you're treating, and we can assign a dollar value to that, and here's an amount. Here's what you provide to the community. Here's what the fair market rental, as I mentioned a minute ago, we can't, by state statute, anti-donation clause will not allow us to just give someone anything. Mm-hmm. So we have to say fair market rental of this building at 1010 South Garden is this much. You guys provide all these services, and then we assign a dollar value, and then we can reduce the rent based on what you're giving to the community. And so the two buildings that we already own that we leased to La Casa, it's a very minimal lease.
It's establishing a barter system.
Whereas this other one, I mean, it's all in. It's an expensive. It's a very nice building in a exclusive area, and it cost a lot. And then we're paying a large portion of it to help offset. System. But you know,
they're paying for it, but they're paying for it with their services.
Yes.
It's a barter service.
Yeah,
is what it is.
And the part that they're not paying for, our taxpayers are paying for, and that's one of the reasons why
But we would be paying that for the mental health anyway.
Right. So it's a good business decision on their part, I think, to work towards
absolutely.
If they said it, and that's what they told me. It was a little more than they felt like they needed at this time. They were glad to get it when they got it, and it's been a real good partnership. And we will continue to work with them. We just have to find what the next
growing
next
and
step
moving on
forward
to the next
is.
thing here. So we're out of time. I just saw that officially here.
One last thing.
Yes.
We had to elect. This happened in 1997, and so they changed the county ordinance. It is rare that both the chairman and the vice chairman leave the county commission at the same time. It happened in 1997 when Rory McMinn and Joe Adair left. And so they wrote a portion of the ordinance number 31, which dictates how we do this. Says this is what you do. You have to elect an interim chairman that will take over December 31st until the first meeting in January when an official chairman is elected. So we did that yesterday. Dara Dana is the interim Chaves County chairman, commencing December 31st and going until our first meeting in January. At such time, they'll decide who it's going to be permanently for the year.
So another one for the history books.
Yes, that was an interesting one. Thank you, Mike.
And then Merry Christmas to you, and
to you too.
We'll see you in 2025.
Happy Festivus to the rest of us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get your grievances ready. All right, we're going to do a quick break before news. Don't go away.
To 2024 and welcome in the new year with drinks, food, and friends beginning at 6 p.m. General admission is $100. Kids admission is only $20. Dinner at the country club and the concert is $250, or upgrade to a VIP table for 6 for $5,000 with only 4 tables left. VIP includes a private and intimate dinner with Chestnut from 7 to 9 p.m. with the concert beginning at 10 p.m. All proceeds to benefit the Pena Project, helping to cover and end-of-life costs for unexpected situations. Get tickets and learn more at thepenaproject.org. Celebrate the new year with Mark Chestnut.
Bubba shot the jukebox last night. Said it played a sad song. It made him cry.
Tuesday, December 31st, 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Get tickets and more info at thepenaproject.org. Hey there, Chief Detective at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. If you think you need a new roof or windows, you should know that Trustmark specializes in just the facts. We investigate your roofs or windows issues, document our research in a thorough case file, then present you with hard evidence of our findings. Witnesses in the southeastern New Mexico area can corroborate Trustmark's just the facts approach. A local customer said, of all the bids we received, Trustmark Roofing was the most detailed and explanatory. And another witness said, I received bids from 3 top-rated roofers and Trustmark was the most thorough and forthright. Get the roofer who specializes in just the facts. Dial 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofingLLC.com today. But you didn't hear it from me.
Jennifer here at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. At Trustmark, we're all about our customers, and that is because we have some of the best people in the world at our company.
Call now and ask about our special offers. 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Everyone knows that the eyesight is the place to go for stylish, high-quality glasses, even the big guy in red. And when Santa needs an eye exam, glasses or contacts, cataract or LASIK care, or even glaucoma testing, the eyesight is his place to go. With frames from designer brands like Maui Jims and Oakley, Santa's sure to find spectacular spectacles. They accept BSP, Medicare, Davis, and more. And with 3 locations in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs, Santa can slay the holiday. The eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most loved rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, it's Sean Smalls. Town Hall News up next. Stay tuned.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
It's a not guilty plea from Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old man accused of fatally shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a New York City sidewalk early this month. Mangione appeared this morning in state court in Manhattan to answer murder and terror charges. He's also facing federal charges. It could bring a death sentence if he's convicted. An illegal migrant from Guatemala being questioned by police investigating a horrific and deadly crime in the New York City subway.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch says a man walked up to a woman on the F train in Brooklyn Sunday morning and lit her clothes on fire, burning her to death.
Someone who we believe carried out one of the most just depraved crimes one person could possibly commit against another human being.
The suspect also caught on the subway car's surveillance camera. The photo went out, someone saw it, and the suspect was arrested later in the day on another subway. Julie Walker, New York.
Panama's president vows to resist any attempt by the U.S. to regain control of the Panama Canal. President-elect Trump accuses Panama of violating terms of the agreement that saw the U.S. surrender control of the strategic waterway.
When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1 during his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there? Communist China now heavily invested in the canal. An engineering marvel was built by the U.S. back in the early 20th century. Department store Nordstrom has agreed to be acquired and taken private by Nordstrom family members and a Mexican retail group for $6.25 billion. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 229 points, the Nasdaq 55 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A former U.S. Marine Corps pilot will be extradited from Australia to the U.S. over allegations that he illegally trained Chinese aviators.
Daniel Duggan is accused of working with the Chinese military at a flying school in South Africa over a decade ago. Prosecutors in the United States claim he was part of a conspiracy to illegally instruct pilots how to land and take off from an aircraft carrier. In May, a magistrate in Sydney ruled Mr. Duggan could be sent back to the US to face arms trafficking charges. He's denied breaking any laws, but his extradition has now been approved by Australia's Attorney General. The former US Marine's family said the decision was callous and inhumane.
The BBC's Phil Mercer. Albania banning TikTok for a year, including accusing the service of inciting violence and bullying. Townhall.com. Well, for this retailer, the party is over.
Party City says it's going to wind down its retail and wholesale operations as it prepares to shutter some 700 stores nationwide. For nearly 40 years, people flocked to Party City for Halloween costumes, children's birthday parties, and decorations for New Year's Eve, and has been facing growing competition from Walmart and Target. Jason Walker reporting.
The feds are investigating last week's deadly West Texas collision involving a Union Pacific train and a tractor-trailer that was hauling heavy equipment, trying to determine why the tractor-trailer was stopped on the railroad tracks. 2 employees of Omaha-based Union Pacific were killed in the crash. It occurred on Wednesday. It happened at a grade crossing in Pecos in West Texas. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The news
of A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Christmas Eve, a.k.a. the day before Christmas. And, hopefully you got all of your Christmas shopping done. Everything's wrapped up except for the wrapping when it comes to my stuff. I just got to get it wrapped. Now, the question is, do I wrap the Amazon box or do I take it out of the box and wrap whatever's inside the box? Because it could be oddly shaped. It might just... A couple of things I got for my kids are just plushies. Those are kind of hard to wrap.
Yeah.
So do I wrap the box? Do I open the box and wrap what's inside of it? I mean...
Do they make it like... do they wrap it for you, like if it's a gift?
Yeah, in an Amazon box. I think that's plenty right. See, and this is my argument. Wrapping paper, the whole reason for it is to block the reveal, to hide the reveal so that they can have the surprise of opening it.
Yeah.
Doesn't an Amazon box do just the same thing? Sure, it's not as fancy, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
saying. Yes. So yes.
Well, that's my argument for why we should just use gift bags instead of wrapping.
I agree. I think I single-handedly keep the
Just
decorative
stuff a little
tissue market in business.
Stuff a little liner on top of it, and
hide
job's
the review.
done.
That's all you got to do. But so Big Daddy Bezos technically wrapped my kids' presents for me, but I think I'm gonna take it out and put it into some fancy wrapping paper sometime today or tomorrow. So I gotta say, I was kind of playing with fire a little bit this weekend. Okay, so back up and tell you the story. I play these two games around the holidays. It's something me and my friends in Utah have done for a few years. They actually got me into it. One is called Whamageddon. Okay, and basically the rule of the game is as follows: you all join a Facebook group, and the very second you hear and recognize Wham's version, the original version of Last Christmas, you're out of the game. It's an elimination thing. Okay. Now, the other one I play is called Mariah-geddon, which is if you hear, obviously, All I Want for Christmas Is You, same thing. As soon as you hear it and recognize it's the original, then you're out. You can hear remakes if it's somebody else singing the song, if it's a different version, but if it's George Michael and the other guy singing Last Christmas, then you're out.
Wait, all you have to do is hear it?
Yeah, it's. I don't even have to hear them sing. I have to hear those opening notes of the song, and I'm out. But I was playing with fire this weekend because I've been pretty careful. I got Mariah'd like 2 weeks ago at a car remote. The Charlie's Angels dance team came out, and I'm like, I'm doomed. And of course, they broke out All I Want for Christmas Is You, and so I got sniped, as I mentioned, at that.
So is this something you can control, or
technically you can if you put yourself into a bubble, but the spirit of the game is you're supposed to continue to immerse yourself into all things Christmas. So keep the Christmas music going. Go out, looking at lights and stuff, and put yourself in places where you could get whammed.
Yeah.
It's called getting whammed. So I was playing with fire this weekend. We were driving around a lot, me and the kids, and I just put on Christmas music. And I said it every time, I'm like, I'm really running the risk here, but I have yet to be whammed. I have not been whammed. I got, like I said, sniped about 2 weeks ago, but I feel like it's imminent. Like I feel like I'm gonna walk
like on
out
the
today.
radio, you mean?
Yeah, on the radio or on Spotify, places like that. Now I will say this: it's different for us here in the States than it is where the game sort of originated, which is Great Britain.
Okay.
The song is huge over there. The Last Christmas by Wham is like Great Britain's All I Want for Christmas Is You. That's like their thing. So you're way more likely to hear it across the pond than you are here. That being said, I still feel it's like, like if you're going to war and you just feel like your death is imminent.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm heading to Whamhalla very soon.
For me personally, that's been the song this year.
Last Christmas?
No. Yeah, Last Christmas has been the Christmas song for this year for me. Like, even I've heard that played more times than any other Christmas song, even the Mariah Carey song.
Yeah, now in fairness, I was listening to a Christmas pop playlist, and I put it on shuffle. So I'm like, okay, this is me putting my life in DJ Spotify's hands. If they decide to pick that song out of a Christmas pop, because you got to figure it's in that category. If they decide to pick that song out and play it for me, and it's off to Whamhalla I go.
No, it's like it feels like this is the year of Last Christmas.
That's
like
crazy. Now, have you watched any like specific holiday or Christmas movies? Because I know it features in a few of those.
I mean, the one besides like the ones I usually watch, which are like
Nothing
the
new.
Polar Express and stuff. No,
because there's like I think somebody said there's a movie they just added to Netflix this year.
Yeah.
That has the song in it.
Maybe that's why.
That could be it. But again, I'm not crazy on Netflix rom-coms, so I don't think it's going to come up that much.
No, our Netflix rom-com's the same thing as Hallmark Christmas
Pretty
movies.
much. I mean, pretty much it's...
Which I think that's a new thing this year, too, is people are talking about Hallmark Christmas movies and CW original Christmas movies, the cringy kind, and those are way more this year than they have been any other year.
It almost feels like it's one of those so bad they're good situations. It's like Hallmark knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They know they're putting out pablum nonsense garbage, but they also know that it gets eaten up this time of year. So it's sort of like a toss-up. You give up your artistic integrity for the cash grab.
Yeah, it's a win-win. They get a tax write-off, and we get a so bad it's good.
That being said, the speaking of the cash grab, the Christmas box office this weekend, the pre-Christmas box office this weekend was dominated by 2 animated movies, one of which probably not going to do nearly as good as the other one. Sonic 3, I'm pretty sure, swept the number 1 spot at the box office.
Oh yeah, everyone's saying it floored the Lion King or Mufasa and stuff.
Yeah, the Mufasa movie. I think we are officially over the live action CGI era, because it's not. I mean, if it was live action, it's fine, but it's not. It's just a different kind of animation.
Yeah. And then you have the Snow White movie where they have animated the dwarves, when it's like, this isn't live action.
Exactly. Same thing with Lilo and Stitch. I mean, Stitch is going to be, and a CGI character. I know the rest of them aren't, but I don't know.
I think it's hitting its stride now. I don't think it actually ever really got it. I think Cinderella was probably the only good one, apart from the Jungle Book one that came out back when I was born.
I'll be honest, I can't really judge because the only one I've ever seen of the live action movies is Aladdin, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it so much.
Yeah.
It was so uncanny valley what they did to Will Smith and how they made him try to make him look like a genie, but also try to make him look human, and I don't like it.
I don't know if you remember this one, but I don't even think it's technically a remake. It's probably kind of a reboot, but it's Cruella. The 101 Dalmatians.
They put it out. I think it was just on Disney Plus, right?
That was the only one I've seen in theaters.
And wait, did they put out a movie? Because I thought that was a series.
No, it was just a movie.
Okay, because I did see some of that, and it was I mean, I enjoyed it. But then again, I also like that different perspective thing. I liked Maleficent when it first came out years and years ago. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's tell a story from a different perspective side of things.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, that was an okay one. But again, once you started getting into this whole real actors interacting with CG characters, but they're trying so hard to make them look real, it's let them be cartoony. That's what made the original Lion King so endearing. Was, I know that he's a lion, but he looks soft and cuddly.
Yeah.
I know that Timon and Pumbaa are a meerkat and a warthog, but they don't look like they smell bad.
Yeah.
They look like cartoons. Now, it looks like he smells bad.
Right.
Plus, it's Seth Rogen, so he probably does. But I digress. I've heard really good things about Sonic. I'm going to probably go check it out this weekend if I have an extra moment or two.
Oh, yeah, I'm super excited to see it.
Mm-hmm. It should definitely be a good one. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the program. We do have a little bit of a longer interview to get to. We're going to replay the interview that Mike had on Friday with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot. Always a great conversation with Elliot. He brings, I'm going to do it. He brings sage advice when it comes to buying or selling your home. He's the money guy, and he can help make it happen for you. So we'll replay that interview coming up here in just a few moments. Right now, at 16 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Upper level high pressure covering our area, and things look good all the way through Christmas Day. Fairly mild. We'll be in the upper 60s to about 70 and sunny today. Overnight looks clear with mid 30s, and then we're expecting low 60s for the high on Tuesday. Should stay sunny. Christmas Day looks nice with mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then about 60 and fair Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 37 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is at 62%. Winds out of the east calm at around 5 miles an hour. The barometer at 30.03 degrees with a dew point only 1 degree warmer of 25 degrees. Looking at partly sunny skies, mix of clouds and sun, 74 the high today. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south later in the afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to 33 for the overnight low. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles an hour. For your Christmas Eve, sunny skies, 62 for the high. Winds calm again, 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Tuesday night, increasing clouds, a low of 35 degrees. Santa's going to be making his run in calm winds, becoming south at around 5 miles an hour after midnight. For your Christmas Day, mostly sunny, high of 62, and winds, again, 5 to 15 miles an hour. The moisture comes into play Christmas night because you've got a 20% chance of the wet stuff after 11 p.m., partly cloudy, and a low of around 37 degrees. For your Thursday, Boxing Day, mostly sunny, a high of 62. Sticking with that pretty much the rest of the weekend. Cold at night and in the morning, but of course, fall time conditions in the day. 65 for your Friday, 65 for Saturday, 69, nice, on Sunday. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, going to have our interview with Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot on the other side of a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
This holiday season, make your Christmas magical with Honey Depot, your one-stop shop for all things festive. Deck the halls with our charming Christmas decorations that will make your home sparkle. Spice up the Christmas meal with our baking goods and cookware. Keep warm with the best selection of clothing and pajamas. Our children's toys will illuminate young minds and bring endless joy, along with hilarious stocking stuffers that will have everyone laughing. Visit Honey Depot today and make Christmas the most magical one yet. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30, and Sunday from 1 to 6 at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Merry Christmas from all of us to all of you.
Check out some of the Christmas bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Cans of Campbell's Cream of Chicken or Mushroom Soups are 5 for $5, and select bags of Pick Sweet steamable vegetables are 99 cents each. In produce, green asparagus is $2.77 a pound, and juicy jumbo oranges are 99 cents a pound. In the meat department, Cook's shank portion hams are 97 cents a pound, and family packs of bone-in standing rib roasts are $6.99 a pound. These are just some of the Christmas bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill, and if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
And now here's Chip Davis, founder and musical director of Mannheim Steamroller, with today's Christmas Countdown.
Okay, there's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. So where does Rudolph fit in? I love the story of Rudolph because I once wrote commercials for radio and television. Years ago, a man named Johnny May also wrote commercials. He worked for the old Montgomery Ward department stores, and he created Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the store's 1939 Christmas season. 10 years later, songwriter Johnny Marks added the music. Gene Autry added his voice.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And today, Rudolph is still going strong. And that's what I'd call a successful ad campaign. I'm Chip Davis for Mannheim Steamroller.
This holiday, focus on what truly matters and let Incogni protect your online privacy. Give the gift of security and peace of mind. Incogni.com.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Roswell.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah, how?
And Happy New Year.
Are you you got any family in town, or are you just gonna just
the wife and I, we're gonna relax this time.
have a nice
no
quiet
traveling,
Christmas?
no nothing. You know,
nice family Christmas with the wife?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
She said, I got a list to do things at home.
Oh, she got a honey-do list.
Oh, heck yeah.
What's the dinner deal? Like, do you have a traditional Christmas dinner, or do you do a certain?
Do you know, she said something about doing, oh my God, the ones with the chips and hamburger meat. What's it called?
Like a.
And she just told me yesterday too.
Like a not nachos or something.
No, not nachos. The little chip, the corn chips. It's gonna come into me in a minute or so.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Frito pie.
Frito pie?
It's a Frito pie
with the Fritos and the.
Oh, I can't even remember now, dude. She's gonna be mad at me. It's like, you can't even remember something I tell you yesterday. I got a lot of things in my head. That's probably why.
That will haunt you, I guarantee it. But it sounds like you're just a quiet Christmas.
Frito pie.
Frito pie.
There you go. I know it will come back to me. No, staying here in Roswell, not traveling this time or nothing. So.
Oh, good. But good news, I guess, if you're trying to button up a deal or whatever, need to get that
we can still get you
the
in.
finances, those finances procured for your home. That's what Elliot does. If you're not familiar, I should do our intro of Elliot. Elliot Rodriguez with Lone Depot. Elliot is the person that you talk to when you're interested in buying a home, whether it's your first one, your fifth one, or whatever. Elliot's the guy you talk to first to see exactly how much of a home you qualify for.
Correct.
And so you need to talk to Elliot first before you talk to any real estate agent, because the real estate agent, you go in there and you're like, you want a home? I like this one. I like, that's a $400,000 home. And then you go talk to Elliot, you can only qualify for half that. And then that's a problem. So then you talk to Elliot. Now, okay, look, I got you $200,000, let your real estate agent go work, say, hey, this is the numbers, and let them go work for you.
Yeah, you could go out there and lock and load and know what you can afford.
Absolutely.
And it's very important, folks, because let's be honest, as much as I need those real estate agents to help us, if you go out there and make them run all over the place and you're not qualified, it's the two things that you do lose. You get discouraged, and then you're losing your agent because you're making them spend their time and they're not able to do nothing for you.
And they your agents, they will go through the nth degree. A lot of your your loan folks will do too if you, but time is money for these folks, and if they're closing, and a real estate agent, generally, especially the ones that are making big bucks, they probably got 3 or 4 deals going on right now, and it's all they don't. If you're going to waste that time, they are going to move on to things that are more beneficial to their bottom line.
I was looking at it this way. I mean, I feel bad for agents sometimes because they really. People go jumping back and forth, and the poor people start showing houses. Now things are changing because they have to do a real estate contract from now on. So rules have changed. In that way, customers don't jump all over the place. The problem with jumping all over the place and what I mean, folks, is going from one agent to another. You got that person that shows you 5 houses, and then you jump into somebody else that maybe show you 1, and that other person that invested in you. Literally, is basically left behind, which is not fair. You know what I mean?
Well, and at the end of the day, what if you end up buying something that first agent was the one who really introduced you to, showed you
exactly.
to, and now they're not getting what their earned commission should be on that.
In a sense, it's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, folks out there that are listening, it's like if you were to go to work and your boss push you to do different things, and you're not getting paid the hours that you were getting paid, that you were working on those things. I mean, think about it that way, because those poor, guys and ladies that are there trying to do these things for you guys.
You want to be compensated for your work? So do they.
I always said it like I might put even more hours than a lot of them, but I had to give it to them because in the end of the day, folks, the reason I'm doing loans because if I have 2 offices, one at home and one at the office, actually 3, because I have my phone too. So
the car is the other
car
office.
is everywhere I go. The fact of the matter is, I have to give it to them because they're the ones that go out there. I might be working on an evening and a Saturday, or Sunday, or whatever, but I'm at home.
Mm-hmm.
These folks go out there and show you houses after hours on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, I even heard, seen it on holidays,
Oh, yeah.
So you have to give it to them, okay?
I imagine there'll be a few out driving around Christmas Eve looking at
Oh,
homes.
you ain't kidding me, So my wife says, like, you better not answer your phone on Christmas Day. It's like, okay.
Yeah, when people have free time, that's when
That's
your
when they
industry's
need to
busy.
be available. And that's just a fact. The difference with me is that there's so many customers that for me to deliver, I had to do a lot more hours than maybe probably most jobs. But
well, and then and a lot of your work happens after hours, but the information you need, you have to get during business hours.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
all the time.
Because every time
it's
people
crazy.
need credit reports or whatever statements or billing thing.
If you see my emails, oh my goodness, it's the craziest. It's the craziest. Like I was like talking to my assistant and my guys, and like about emails. Like, what are you talking about? I get emails from you. I get emails from you. I get emails from her. I get emails from people, from my boss. You name it. So yeah, it's something that it doesn't end. It's like a continuous crazy cycle.
Sure.
But I guess I'm crazy enough that I don't mind it, right? Because I'm doing it. No, but you know what? Because I love helping people buy houses. I think it's the craziest and awesome thing that I can ever do. For the longest time, when I was younger and everything, I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I was going to school to become a psychologist, okay? And I was going to be a doctor and this and that. So I was going to mess up with people's head, guys. I guess I can mess up with you guys' head in a different way now. But my point is, I wanted to help people either way.
Sure.
Then I joined the Army, did a bunch of different things, and I've been blessed that I have a spectrum.
You went and did life.
Well, yeah, I have
happens.
I have a spectrum of all kinds of different, experiences that have made me what today I'm, So, which is really cool because, I love driving through town. It's like I help somebody buy that house. I help somebody buy that house.
Well,
it's the coolest thing.
Plus, you've had the foot in the world of everybody, and probably a lot of your customers. Like your time in the military. I don't care what everybody says. You're a E1, 2, or 3 in the United States Armed Forces. I don't care what branch it is. You broke. Broke or in trouble because you've spent way too much money that you were supposed to.
You in line because let me tell you something. When I was an emancipated minor. If folks out there don't know what that means, it means I went on my own before I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And in other words, I was going to school and I was working.
Yeah.
All right. So, and the government wasn't giving me money or nothing like that. So there was nothing given to me, which it was probably some many ways the best thing that could ever happen to me as a young individual because it pushed me to excel myself and do more for myself.
Sure.
Well,
granted, you're young and military, and granted, yes, you're, most of the time you don't pay for food, you don't pay for lodging, you don't pay for
Well, we're paying because we.
I mean, you pay, but you know what I mean. You don't have to go and fork over some money for it.
No, I know.
You paying?
We're paying, but it's a different kind of pay, folks.
But and then you get your check, and I think the first time it's like $1,000 for a month, and I hope it's a little more now. That was in the 1990s.
No, you know what? Okay, so since I'm a financial guy now, and I help people buy houses, I help a handful of soldiers, okay? Because I'm VA basically certified. I do renovation certified.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that I do that I see, and I have seen some of my fellow soldiers, brothers and sisters out there. Yeah, it has changed, but also the cost of living also have changed too.
That's true too.
Okay. So I mean, what you and I were making when we were E1s and stuff like that is a big difference from what
E1
E1 makes
broke,
today.
but you could go down to McDonald's for $3 and get fed. Now
Yes,
you
sir.
can look at fries for $3 or something.
Right? It's like it's no more like it used to be.
This is true. These are true statements.
Where's the dollar menu? There's no dollar menu almost anymore.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
No, I mean the part that is being awesome. God had given me this opportunity to help a lot of people. So it's been such a interesting and fabulous, crazy. I mean, I could come up with all the words that I can come up with. Experience, folks. If you're looking for somebody to help you buy a house, I'm going to say just out loud, just the way I say it, come to me. I will take care of you.
Sure.
I look at people not as a number, but as a person. Okay. And I want to help everybody that I can help. I don't care how big or small the loan is. If I can help you, I will help you. My staff, I'm preaching that to them, and they're
Sure.
living the same thing. So I'm working on the next generation that is happening right now.
And it's coming, like you said, a statement there, and this is where I think maybe phone is, like you said, you look at the people, not the numbers, and this is where you're that Sherpa, because the system of which you have to work and operate in looks at the number, not the people.
I know, and that's tough. Dude.
And so you're able to match the people to the number, and if you can't get the numbers to match the people, then you work with them, and you say, all right, I can't do this. Come see me in 3 months or 6 months. We do this, this, and this, and now the numbers match what we're trying to do.
So in my business, there's no guarantees, of course, okay? But one guarantee I can give you to each of any person that comes to me, I will give you my word that me and my staff will do everything in our power to take care of you and get you a home.
Sure.
Can I get you a home today? Can I get you a home tomorrow? Or can I get you a home next week or next year? I will get you a home. You follow my lead. You do what I ask you to do. As long as I'm not breaking the law, doing something crazy, okay? You never have to worry about it, okay? Because I will give you my word, and that is a guarantee from me that if you do what I ask you, depending on the time, I will promise you that you will get your home.
Sure. And here's the thing is what he's telling you and what he's doing, yes, the end game here is to get you in a house, but if you're following it, you're going to find that pretty much all your financial world stuff's going to start lining up. Your bills are getting paid.
And it's so true. It's very true.
And that's really the key. If you're setting up your budget to afford the house to get the credit, if you keep that step, you're going to find out, oh my gosh, now I can afford the house and keep growing and doing from this, and then oh, by the way, I can actually now put some money in savings and start doing these things. That it's the plan.
And folks, I'm not here to judge anybody on what you did yesterday, you did 2 years ago, you did 10 years ago. I'm here to help you today. All right, I'm here to give you some guidelines and give you some leads so how to do things and make it better for yourself. The fact of the matter is everybody needs a place to live. You're either renting or living with some kind of relative or friend, whatever, but you need a place to live.
Sure.
And if you're paying rent, for God's sake, you're already doing it. Now all we have to do is find a way to get you have your own home. So that way, you are investing in yourself, not investing in somebody else.
That rent check is going back into your own, and you're building equity.
Exactly.
And that your first house, which is probably not your nicest house, will be a lot nicer 5 years now when you got an extra 20, 50 grand or however sitting there ready for you to push that towards that next house.
One of the things that I love the most is when somebody called me, hey, how you doing, Elliot? And it's funny because you remember Cheers. Everybody when it goes where everybody knows your name.
Right.
Okay. Folks, if you've never seen that, go and look it up in Google and go and watch one of those episodes. The point is, you go to a place that people know you. And why am I saying this? It's very simple. If you did business with me, your name is in my phone. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't erase. Okay. I mean, unless you did something really bad to me, I guess. No. So far,
or his wife throws his phone in the toilet or something.
Or somebody tripped my life. No, so far so good. I think most of my customers, I love them all, and hopefully they love me back just the same. My point is, I have your number. So when you call, unless you change your name, your telephone number, or you got remarried or something,
unless you disconnect the relationship.
Or something.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, it's funny when somebody calls me, and I have the number, and I say, "How you doing, Bill? How you doing, Miguel? How you doing, Victor? How you doing, David?" Oh, hi, Elliot. Well, you thought I erased your name? No, it's still on my phone.
Sure.
I don't bother people. Okay, and a lot of people will tell me, "Well, you're being a little naive." The fact of the matter is, my system does send stuff to people automatically anyway.
Sure.
But I don't like to bother people.
Sure.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the best, okay, thing that anybody can do, and give me what I'm looking for. The best thing I can hear from anybody is that they send me their brother, sister, or friend, because it's the best thing they ever can do for me. Because a referral to me is valuable.
Well, I mean, you did right by them, and now they're saying, you know what, my people I respect, I want you to do the same for them.
But it's even more to me when they call me again.
Yeah.
Not because I was bothering them, but because they're like, Elliot, I'm about to move and buy a bigger house, and such, this, and that. They're like, can you help me?
Yeah, and it's that same mindset where I'm not selling you this house or getting you qualified for this house. I'm getting you, setting the table where I can help you wherever you're living. I had a hand in helping you get into that home.
I just closed a deal last month, and it's very funny. They're moving to Las Cruces. They got better jobs and everything. They're married now. I mean, their family's growing, and they're selling their house here. So the agent that's selling the house here knew that I helped them before. We haven't talked for a few, and they actually, whoever was helping them in Las Cruces, obviously send them to a different lender. That fell completely apart. They were not very happy. And the agent that is helping them sell the house here is like, why you don't call your lender from before? Do you know how powerful that is? And I know, the wife and him were like, yeah, let's call Elliot. And when the agent tell him, yeah, call your old lender, and one-on-one got together as two, and now they got a home in Las Cruces. And they're like telling me how everything fell apart, how everything was bad. And I made it to the point that they bought another house.
That's great.
And this is the part that I look at it. I don't know what's happening in the market as far as my competitors, but the only thing I can say is when you deal with people and you care about what you do, it's not a task that is hard. Okay, and folks, don't think I'm not saying my job is not easy. It's easy. It's not easy at all. It's very, very difficult. What I mean is when you have done some of the things that I've done and the experiences that I have put together all this year, and folks, I'm talking about from when I was in the military, when I was in high school, when I was selling vacuum cleaners, okay, when I was in banking, all right, when I was in business banking, all these things, okay, and lending in Colorado Springs and all that stuff, it has put together this little knowledge in this head.
Sure. It's
that
life experiences.
You cannot teach that. This happens little by little. God makes people who they are. Okay, God give us all the experiences, all these things that happen in life to make us who we are. Do we choose to be the best we can be, and do we raise up to the top to try to become better? That's everybody's question and everybody's answers to themselves.
Absolutely.
My goal is to be the lender of choice, and my team be the lender of choice to take care of everybody in the whole entire state of New Mexico. Well, obviously, I'm here, folks, so I'm yours. I'm from Roswell, so, hey, here's where I am. I drink the water, so.
Yeah.
And I go anyway. But we do value everything that we do for our customers because in the end of the day, folks, the doors are open because of you.
Absolutely.
The door's not open because Elliot sounds good and Elliot likes to pay the bills. It doesn't work that way. It's because of you guys, and you guys make us be who we are at the same time. And I love doing that every single day. I know we went through really hard times, especially the past few months behind with the floods and everything. And I want to bring that up to the table for a second because a lot of people out there still need help. I didn't went on saying anything about 203Ks, renovation loans because I didn't want to sound like I was some kind of person, like something bad happened, so now you wanted to take advantage of it. But the people that are out there that still need help, okay, we can do what is called a 203K renovation refi, and we can help you fix your house and bring it back to normal. Okay, folks. So don't call me, and I'll tell you all about it. We also have a 203K disaster, program as well that helps you and give you more benefits as well too. And that goes from not only owning a home. If you were living and renting a place and and nobody has been able to help you and you're still struggling, we have that program to help you go and purchase a home, okay? A lot easier, than when you were doing it as a normal loan.
Excellent.
Okay?
So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and I haven't put it out there like I wanted to at first because I wanted to, people know that we can do the 203Ks, but I figured let's end the year because I know a lot of people still need help. And I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. It's called 203K, all right? And it's an FHA approach. And folks, you can fix your home. You could literally turn down your house from the bottom up to and rebuild the whole entire house if you need to. Okay? So, and obviously, that is not the case for many situations, but so it'll be even easier to be able to happen. Obviously, you still have to qualify just the same, but with the disaster behind the 203K, it makes it a little easier for you to be able to qualify as well. Okay. So that's another thing. And folks, me and Mike talks about this all the time. A lot of people tell people, no, you cannot qualify for this. You cannot buy a house. You don't do this and this. I just closed this morning before I came here today a renovation loan by HUD, and some of my competitors say, no, you cannot do this. And it's so funny because I cannot say the name, but the buyer this morning, such and such said I cannot do it. They're like, well, And Elliot said, "Oh, we'll find a way. We'll get it done. No worries." And here we are closing, and she's buying a house because she was stubborn. She wanted to buy that house, you know. And sometimes it's like that. All people need is somebody to listen to them and somebody to really, truly uncover every stone to really help them.
Sure.
You know, and let's be honest. You and I know this. When somebody get it in their head, this is what they want.
Sure.
That's what they want. It's not my job to deviate you that that's not what you want. So my job is to give you the tools, give you the direction, and make that accomplishment happen for you. Yeah. So I don't take dreams away from people. I give the dream. I'm helping to make that dream happen. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. And where you do get in, it's like saying, this, and it's really sometimes it's asking those questions. It's like, what do you want in life, and what are you happy?
Exactly.
What are you defining success? And if you're defining this as success, what are you doing currently in your lifestyle to go that way? And it looks like there's a lot of things that we can eliminate to do that. And it's up to you. But I'm telling you, if you do this, I can get you here if that's where you want to be. But if that's not where you're at, fine, can keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's ultimately on you. But that's kind of, you, the person, if you want to go. And this is why I keep saying things like, yes, you could literally have an hourly wage salary working at a fast food restaurant.
You just have to figure it out.
Working your 40 hours or wherever it is. And you know what? We can put you in a home. It can be done. Now, like I said, yes, we're going to have to get, it's just about what you do with your money. What is it? Where you can save it? What are you spending it on? What are your bills on? I get certain things in life. You got to have your phone. You got to have a place to live. But how much do you spend on entertainment? How much do you spend on just coffee and things like that? How many streaming services do you have?
Exactly.
And I get you got to get plugged in. But if you're dropping $50 or $80 a month on streaming services and another 20, you know what I mean? That adds up quickly. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of free stuff on there now. And I know I'm a 50-year-old man and all that, but you can get a lot of free streaming stuff.
Well, if you do the right thing,
fine,
you could do. I mean,
granted, you're not gonna get the latest Yellowstone or the latest whatever is out there now.
I don't know. Call me if you want to do that.
And you might know a guy, but I'm not saying that.
You might know a guy, we know a guy.
But I'm just saying there's options. You know what I mean? There's ways to do this.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Okay, in such a way that right now today, you cannot do the cry wolf stuff like, I cannot do it. You just have to stand up, step it forward, and say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing.
And credit, and how credit's established and how it's determined and what your score is good, it's night and day different than your daddy's, the way it was done and everything else.
Let me tell you, folks, if you don't have credit score, it's not as bad as a lot of people think that you cannot buy a house. Come and talk to me. I'll tell you how to do it. Okay? Yeah. You don't have to have credit to be able to buy a house. But you do have to qualify in many other things to be able to buy a house. And I do have the tools to do that just the same.
Bad credit is tricky to get a house.
Now, bad credit is my enemy.
Yeah.
There's still ways to work around that, but...
Yeah, we can get... If you have no credit, we can get the credit established.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
It's the bad credit that's the hurdle here.
And folks, if you have bad credit, don't be ashamed. I've been there, done that, have the T-shirt. So
sure.
It happens to everybody. I'm here not to judge you, but to help you and give you the tools to help you step up forward and do better for yourself.
And let's face it, and I'm seeing the times, we're pretty to wrap it up, but let's face it, if you don't know, you don't know. And if no one's taught you or if no one said, and so that's, I know sometimes there's this, I should know about these kind of things. And it's like, but if your parents didn't know or no one sat down and talked to you about it, how are you supposed to?
Yeah, you're not going to know.
Unless you, and to be honest, you're like, you can get on the internet, but what are you looking for? Do you know what to look for? I mean, how do I buy a house? I guess you can start there, but I mean, and then you start getting in the weeds when they start throwing all kinds of acronyms at you. It's like, so that's why Elliot loves to sit down with folks and educate and get them understanding how the game works.
I tell my guys, and they laugh at me because they look at me all weird, like I feel like I'm talking to the grasshopper and I'm the priest, and they're trying to teach you how to, what's up kind of deal with hey, by the way, Karate Kid new stuff is coming up too. I saw that.
I think they have one more episode. I'm all the way up to they got one more thing they're going to hit us with at some point. Crazy. But yeah, I'm waiting on that.
So folks, my guys, I always teach them that knowledge is power, and this is a lot of people. I tell people my guys are better than me, and people say, "But how is that possible?" You know why it's possible? Because they got their own knowledge, and they still have me behind them too.
Sure.
So the point of the whole matter and what I'm trying to say here, it's not only Elliot by itself. Right now, I'm It's three of us. That means we can accomplish and help a lot more people. Okay,
absolutely, yeah.
So folks, if you've been thinking about buying a home, don't be afraid of it. Okay. And if you cannot buy a house right now, I'll give you the footprint of what you need to do. So don't worry about that stuff. Okay.
The conversation can be had today.
Mm-hmm. I'll have a bigger smile. I got literally like 1,200 applications in my system. I got about 300 people that are trying to buy houses. I got 500 people that are pre-approved and sure we're going to move forward. It's a matter of them making the decision and do what they need to do. I'm here to help everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care how big the loan is or how small it is.
Sure.
We are here to help you.
And the ball's in your court.
Exactly.
When you're ready to make that time. Now, there are always things in the world that might behoove you to more of, when interest rates change or something's like,
interest rates are getting better, but it's going to take longer than what a lot of people are, estimating and hoping, okay? And the Fed's not going to do another 1%. Now there's a talk of 0.5 point drop first. You cannot change the system too fast. Because just like anything can explode, it also can implode too.
Yes,
okay, so you cannot do it fast enough.
It's like science or anything else. You raise the temperature too quick or lower it too quick, and that can create explosions or other issues in the financial world.
It's the same thing.
If you don't gradually, it's kind of like a drug addict. You don't cold turkey on some certain drugs. You got to wean them. You got to slow it down and wean them off.
Cold turkey is not such a fun thing to do.
It just depends on. But this is kind of what it is.
Same idea.
Same concept. But if you need to get a hold of Elliot here, and after listening to us here and saying, maybe it's time for me to talk to Elliot here, you can call him direct on his cell at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can always visit his new office right here in Roswell 204 West 2nd, suite number 5. Just right kind of over that way.
right across the police station. If you were ever in trouble, at least you know where it is.
Yeah. Not too far from the place where my wife has to go to get her pants altered and all that stuff.
There you go. That's right. They're opening a new office.
There. That's where we go to get our pants altered.
If you leave the parking lot, you just go across Richardson and you go into my parking lot.
There you go. Exactly.
Simple.
So you can come on by 204 West 2nd, or you can call the office at the 505-445-2070. And then you can, of course, go online. He has a website, and you can go to loandepot.com, www.loandepot.com /Elliot Rodriguez, all one word, all lowercase, one L in Elliot, and then the Z on the end of Rodriguez.
Correct.
That'll go to his website. And then same thing with email. That one's Elliot Rodriguez, same all lowercase, one L with the Z, at loandepot.com to shoot him an email direct here as well, too. Or like I said, just come by the office. He's got Facebook as well. Just type in Elliot Rodriguez.
Yeah, just look me up and you'll see. I always say, just look me up in there. Because I am a salesman. Obviously, I can talk a lot. just look me up. That will speak for itself.
Sure.
Simple as that.
But yeah, if you're wanting to process, and trust me, if you're renting right now, let's see what we can do to turn that rent check or rent payment into a mortgage, and then that $800 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever you're paying now for that mortgage or for that rent is going into your mortgage, and then some of that's going back to your principal. You're building equity, and next thing you know, 5 years of doing that, you got 20, 30 grand sitting there waiting for you to put towards a new house.
Well, it's still better than having it in a regular savings, no matter what.
Absolutely. And that's, ultimately you pay off a house.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. So thank you, Elliot, as always. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
And Happy New Year if I don't see you before
Happy New Year.
2020.
Yeah, if we don't end up playing poker or something.
That's right.
I know.
That's right. Who knows? Get Thomas up, see if he's going to do a Christmas Eve poker blowout.
No, Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you for having me.
All right, 9:51. Let's pause for news and
Bankers Association's Government Relations Council. The appointment will run to the end of 2025. The Roswell Disaster Recovery Center will be closed for the holidays, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Moreover, the DRC will operate with reduced hours on Tuesday, the next 2 Tuesdays, in fact. Additionally, the FEMA helpline will observe holiday hours on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Roswell DRC offers one-on-one assistance to Chavez County homeowners, renters, and business owners who were affected by the October severe storms and flooding. 2 people have died after a train derailment in Pecos, Texas. This happened on Wednesday night last week. The UP train jumped the tracks and crashed into the Pecos Chamber of Commerce building after it struck a semi-tractor-trailer rig. 2 employees of UP who were on the train were killed. 3 Chamber of Commerce employees inside the building were also injured. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suit's for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 7 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with your Travis County Sports Report.
It's time for the Travis County Sports Report. The Roswell Coyotes boys basketball team were busy in Clovis over the past weekend at the Clovis Holiday Tournament, losing on Friday in the semifinals by a score of 91-65. That was to Volcano Vista. But Roswell bounces back to beat Melrose 69-68. You won't see that meeting very often, but Roswell does win it to move to 6-2 on the season. By the way, that was Melrose's first loss, in case you think they weren't a very good small school team. They are. Goddard, meanwhile, on Friday night takes on a smaller school as well, beating Dexter 63-40. The Rockets are 3-3 overall. And also on Friday, Hagerman knocks off Grady 57-21 in boys hoops. The Bobcats are 5-3, and Gateway Christian defeats Tatum 61-45. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Upper level high pressure covering our area, and things look good all the way through Christmas Day. Fairly mild. We'll be in the upper 60s to about 70 and sunny today. Overnight looks clear with mid 30s, and then we're expecting low 60s for the high on Tuesday. Should stay sunny. Christmas Day looks nice with mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then about 60 and fair Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished higher on Friday. It was an upbeat end to what was otherwise a challenging week for the market. Cooler than expected inflation data provided a boost to sentiment on Wall Street as the PCE for November, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, rose 2.4% annually, a tad below what economists had expected, and the PCE is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. That data sort of took the edge off the bearish sentiment that had resulted on Wednesday of last week when the Fed announced another rate cut, but indicated that just 2 more rate cuts should be expected in 2025. This month's U.S. consumer sentiment rose for the 5th straight month, and then today, look for December's consumer confidence reading. 2 big names in tech, e-vehicle giant Tesla and AI chip darling NVIDIA, helped boost the market as that Teamsters union strike against Amazon continues, but Amazon says it's really not as big as it's being sold as because only around 1% of its workforce are union members. But contracted drivers who want to be treated like Amazon employees, a sticking point. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
James Golden, a.k.a. Bo Snerdley, here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, and now China is targeting your money with a kill shot on the dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. For a free gold guide that explains everything you need to know, freegoldguide.com/Bo or call 800-941-0498 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver.
'Tis the season for Santa Bucks at Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply. Stop by and draw from Santa's bag for cash off your purchase in the clothing department. Celebrate Customer Appreciation Month for the entire month of December with 20% off everything in the clothing department. You'll save big on brands like Wrangler, Ariat, Himes, Cinch, Bernay, Tasha, Polizzi, and Dear John Denim. Hats from Resistol, Stetson, American Hooey, and Twister. Also buy $50 in gift cards and take a $10 gift card for yourself. Don't miss out on these amazing deals at Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from our family to yours.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare.
You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms? They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 2 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Sean Smalls inside your radios in the captain's chair for Mixmaster Mike Winters as he's enjoying some time off this Christmas week. Speaking of the Christmas week schedule, quick programming note, we are going to be taking a few days off here in the Lando 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Tomorrow through Thursday, we're going to have special programming right here in place of the morning show. Tomorrow we'll be playing the Gil Gross Christmas Spectacular. I believe on Wednesday, Christmas Day itself, we'll have the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas event. So you can turn up the radio and gather around the tree with the fireplace in the background, maybe just that cool Yule log they have on Netflix, and you can enjoy Christmas with your family to the sweet sounds of Mannheim Steamroller. Then on Thursday, Boxing Day, we're going to be replaying the Gil Gross special that we play tomorrow. So if you miss it tomorrow, you have a chance to hear that again when we play it on Thursday. Stay tuned. Next hour, we have scheduled the folks from the American Legion, I believe, Post 61. If not, we'll have something else for you as well. But we'll be chit-chatting kind of about what 2024 was for the Legion, what plans they have for 2025, and moving forward to this brave new world we call 2025. That's coming up next hour right here on 106.5 KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Stay tuned.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Biden is commuting the sentences of most every prisoner on federal death row.
President Joe Biden says he's converting from death row to life in prison the sentences of 37 of the 40 people on death row in federal prison. The only 3 prisoners still sentenced to death: Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, Dylan Roof, who massacred 9 black church members in Charleston, South Carolina, and Robert Bowers, who shot to death 11 members of a synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. President-elect Donald Trump has spoken often about expanding the death penalty to include those caught selling drugs. Donna Warder, Washington.
The man accused of fatally shooting the United Healthcare CEO in New York City has pleaded not guilty to murder and terror charges. This is a state case that will run in tandem with his federal prosecution.
The Manhattan District Attorney formally charged Luigi Mangione last week with multiple counts of murder, including murder as an act of terrorism. That case will run parallel to his federal case. The federal charges could carry the possibility of the death penalty, while the maximum sentence for his state charges is life in prison without parole.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House. New York City's police commissioner calling it one of the most depraved crimes that a person could commit. A 33-year-old illegal migrant from Guatemala is in custody after allegedly setting a fellow subway passenger on fire and calmly watching as the victim died. The female victim was asleep when she was randomly attacked. Several injuries. A couple of small drones collided in midair and fell into the crowd over the weekend at a Christmas show in downtown Orlando, and the FAA is investigating. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow is down 288 points on the NASDAQ, trading 23 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Questions abound in the wake of the deadly vehicular attack on a crowded Christmas market in Germany.
People are wondering how it was possible that this route into the market that was left open for emergency services didn't have a barrier that would prevent other cars from entering it here. There are also questions about the suspect himself. There are reports coming in that there had been warnings about him, not least from the Saudi authorities. German officials have said that some of these warnings weren't specific enough to be investigated.
The BBC's Bethany Bell. The British economy is still struggling. The latest government statistics show the UK economy flatlined in the third quarter, registering no growth July through September. It was previously estimated that the UK's economy grew by 0.1%. Revised survey data shows weaker business for bars and restaurants. News and analysis, townhall.com. Plans to pump more money into the inflation-battered U.S. economy. 1 million taxpayers are slated to get up to $1,400 from the IRS in the coming weeks.
The money will be directly deposited into eligible people's bank accounts or sent in the mail by a paper check. Most people shouldn't get their hopes up, though, about receiving the cash. The IRS says it's distributing about $2.4 billion to taxpayers who failed to claim a recovery rebate credit on their 2021 tax returns after missing one of the COVID stimulus payments or receiving less than the full amount. The IRS says most taxpayers eligible for the federal stimulus payments receive them. I'm Shelley Adler.
Christmas almost here, and there's no end in sight to the strike targeting online retailing giant Amazon. In fact, the walkout is growing with more Amazon workers joining the job action. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3
Tres Inviernos
of A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Get that back going. Happy Christmas Eve to you. Sean Smalls in the captain's chair for Mixmaster Mike Winters. Now, I played that song because It actually happened in real life.
Yes. I've heard this news.
Yeah, it was on November 28th during a turkey run. Apparently, a pack of rogue deer knocked 2 women off their feet during the Turkey Day run on November 28th, caught on camera, and of course, the prophecy has finally come true. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Now the question is, should we open up her gifts or send them back? I feel like we need to answer these questions.
It's probably just fruitcake.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, it was all shawls that didn't fit any of us. Turn that back up now. Yes, good morning. Welcome to Christmas Eve here on A Morning Without Mike Winters, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Hopefully your Christmas Eve going smoothly and, without any kind of major hiccups or problems. Got a chance to get out and see the Christmas lights a little bit yesterday with the kiddos, jamming out to us.
I feel like that's impossible for a Christmas to go without a single hitch.
Oh, no. Like hitchless Christmas, they don't happen. But, here's hoping the hitches are at least manageable hitches.
Like, unless you live in like a shack by yourself.
Well, the plan...
Hermit style.
The way to make sure you have a Christmas that goes without any kind of problems is don't have Christmas. You just...
Well, sure.
You just go to maybe other people's Christmas parties. Don't plan anything yourself. Don't set up any decorations. Just like you're a bachelor almost. If you can live that lifestyle, you can make it through the holidays relatively hitch-free. But then again, there's also the other connotations that this holiday brings on. Loss. Folks who have even folks who have suffered loss over the course of the last year. The holidays are always a little harder because you're thinking about it. So. Send a thought to those folks out there who maybe are suffering this holiday season.
Right.
There's a whole lot of them. But I got to say a big thanks and big props to the fine groups, Food Not Bombs, With Many Hands. The work that they've been doing here in our community is absolutely amazing. And anytime you can help out those organizations, they absolutely would appreciate any and all of your help. I know he wasn't going to say anything. But I got to give Mixmaster Mike a little credit. He donated a $250 Farmers Country Market gift card to Food Not Bombs. Didn't say anything about it on the air, just did it, because it needed to be done. And so that money is going to go do a lot of good for the folks here in our area that need help.
I have a question.
Okay.
For those who celebrate Hanukkah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to give everybody 8 gifts?
So, now I'm not Jewish, or I'm not really a big studier of it, but from what I gathered, it's 8 gifts of increasing importance. So, like the first couple of gifts are like chocolate coins, the dreidel, the kind of the stuff that you would get from the the bins, the dollar bins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger stuff, like if you're actually getting Christmas presents, that usually comes on like day 6, 7, and 8.
Is it like for a group project, or is it kind of like for each person?
Like
do you buy like...
Yeah, if you're...
Like do you give each person 8 gifts, or do you just like pick 8 people and then just give them
No,
each
it's
a
not
gift like alcoholic?
You're thinking of MySpace. That's what you pick your top 8 people and you focus on them. No, it's basically like Christmas. You don't necessarily get a gift for everybody on Christmas unless you're somebody who's crazy, like my friend Misty, who makes me feel horrible because I always forget to get my friends gifts because I'm so focused on my kids. But you don't always, necessarily get everybody a gift, but the ones who are important in your life, those people, they get the 8 gifts. And I think usually it's kids. I don't know if you still get Hanukkah gifts, 8 Hanukkah gifts when you're an adult. The way I've seen it is friends will give their Jewish friends a nice thing as their Hanukkah present, not like 8 things. I think the 8 boils down to specifically the kids. And it's the story of the, I believe, the gift of the Maccabees, where they had the oil in the lamp that lasted for 8 whole days. So in telling the story, that's why they give the 8 gifts. I'm not sure of the significance of what day 1 is versus day 6 or 7 or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works, is that it's based on... What's that sound?
It's my phone.
It's you. It's based on the story, the gift of the Maccabees, where the oil lasted for the 8 days. Or if you're Adam Sandler, it's about 8 crazy nights.
Yeah.
The weird thing is...
I'd rather have 8 crazy nights than 8
I would indeed.
gifts.
The crazy thing is, I'm pretty sure this is the first year in at least the last 5 or 6 that all 3 holidays fell within, I say 3, including Kwanzaa, fell within 3 days of each other, and Hanukkah starts late. So I believe Christmas is Wednesday. Hanukkah, I think, starts on Thursday, and then Kwanzaa is the day after.
Okay.
I only know that because of the Roswell Public Library schedule.
I'd rather have like 8 nights of like debauchery. if I was Jewish, I think that should be a new tradition. just get it out of your system, guys.
8 nights of debauchery. Name of your next pay-per-view. But yeah, if you are indeed ready and raring to go for this holiday season, good for you. In case you missed it last hour, quick programming note: we're going to be taking some time off tomorrow through Thursday to celebrate with our friends and family. Gil Gross will be playing his show tomorrow and Thursday, the day after Christmas, and then on Christmas Day itself, we'll be playing the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas Spectacular. That will be the soundtrack for your holiday season. Same thing over on our sister stations, 92.9 The Brand. They're going to be going to kind of a jukebox mode for the next few days. I'll be back in on more than likely on Friday morning to regale you with more Christmas stories right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, as well as over on our sister station 92.9 The Brand, because I'm pulling double duty today. That's right. I'm like MasterCard. I'm like Visa. I'm everywhere you want to be. I don't use that catchphrase anymore, but nevertheless. So here's a question for you, Roy. What is, in the annals of your Christmases past, what was the best present you ever received? For either sentimental reasons or just because it was a cool thing. What was the maybe the biggest one, or like the one that stands out in your head?
I can't really remember.
Okay, but but now here's the experiment part. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's the worst gift you've ever received?
It's probably something that I've never actually used.
Okay.
And
So-
it's like this like backyard kind of like I don't even remember what it is anymore. It's like just something that you like, one of those games where you set up a board and you throw with holes in it and you throw balls into it.
Like a cornhole game. Well, the reason I ask is because most of the time when you ask somebody what their best Christmas present ever is, maybe they'll have like a go-to answer or something, but more often than not, it's they can't remember. However, when you ask them what their favorite gift or their least favorite gift is, everybody remembers the trauma. In the same way, I have a couple of Christmas presents that I remember that were the big deal. I got a Super Nintendo one year as a gift. Is that our guest? Okay. Yeah, I got a Super Nintendo one year as one of our gifts, but the one that I remember was the worst. If you need to let him in, that's fine. One year, and I told this story on Saturday when I was out on a live broadcast, but one year for Christmas, my dad, all I wanted was Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That's all I wanted. It was a cool game. It was like the thing at the time. And that's all I told my parents. I just want Donkey Kong Country. Just get that for me and I'll be a happy kid. Christmas Day, opening our presents. I got the socks, the underwear, stuff from Grandma and Grandpa. A couple of cool gifts from Mom and Dad. I think I had like an RC car or something like that. And then my dad gets very excited. He gets that look of pride on his face. And he reaches into his shirt pocket. My dad always wore button-down shirts, so he had a pocket to keep his pack of cigarettes. But he reached into his pocket, and he pulls out one of his business cards, a business card with my father's name on it, and hands it to me. Okay, I mean, I have your contact information, Dad. I don't know. Turn it over. So I turned it over. I owe you one Donkey Kong game on the SNES. Yeah, my dad got me an IOU for Christmas. I went, neat, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I never got it. I never got that game. He never followed through.
Well, at least you have a story to tell about how you got an IOU for Christmas.
But that's what I'm saying is people don't tend to remember their best gifts. But everybody remembers the trauma surrounding their worst gifts. Every single person.
I think I got a PS1.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
either that or an N64, one of those.
I remember when
I had both.
I had the Genesis, but I traded over to the SNES because they had a deal at the time. You traded, they would give you the set, the SNES with 2 controllers and Mario All-Stars.
Okay.
So you got like 5 games, to kickstart.
I know that's one game I still have.
Super Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars. Those 2 games came with it. So you got like all the Marios that you could possibly want and the set with 2 controllers for the price of the Genesis. So yeah, I traded up. And still no regrets. Very happy about my decisions. But yeah, everybody tends to remember their worst gifts. Nobody ever remembers their best ones.
Right.
But I digress. Our guests are patiently waiting. We are going to be joined here in just a few minutes by Lee and the folks from American Legion Post 61. We'll be chatting with them coming up here in just a few minutes, kind of giving everybody a 2024 year in review and kind of diving into what 2025 has in store for us with the American Legion. We'll get into that coming up here in just a few minutes on this Christmas Eve. Right now at 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Upper level high pressure covering our area, and things look good all the way through Christmas Day. Fairly mild. We'll be in the upper 60s to about 70 and sunny today. Overnight looks clear with mid 30s, and then we're expecting low 60s for the high on Tuesday. Should stay sunny. Christmas Day looks nice with mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then about 60 and fair Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 44 degrees round Roswell Way. Humidity is at 51%. Winds are calm at the moment with a barometer of 30.04 and a dew point of 27 degrees. Looking at a high of 70 degrees for today under a mix of clouds and sun. Winds going to be calm out of the north 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly clear, getting down to an overnight low of around 33 degrees. Going to have that wind out of the north at around 5 miles an hour. Your Christmas Eve not going to feel very much like it because we got sunny skies and 62 for the high. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles an hour, becoming east later in the afternoon. And for your Christmas evening, increasing clouds, a low of around 35 degrees, calm winds, 5 to 10 miles an hour. And there it goes. I just lost my computer for a quick second. But mostly sunny for your Christmas Day, a high of 62 degrees, winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. About a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 11 p.m., otherwise partly cloudy, and a low of around 37 degrees. Mostly sunny and 62 for your Boxing Day, partly cloudy and 37 for the overnight low there. And then for Friday, 65 degrees, mostly sunny skies, pretty much staying right there, 65 to 69 degrees, heading into your post-Christmas, pre-New Year's weekend. 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, chat with Jen and Lee from American Legion Post 61 on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
KC Light Tower is proud to partner with the Pena Project in ringing in the new year with Mark Chestnut. New Year's Eve from 6 p.m. to midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Come get drinks, food, and socialize before the concert starts at 9. In a combined effort with Royal Services LLC of Artesia, the Pena Project is here to offset some of the costs associated with the passing of a loved one. All money from this event goes towards the Pena Project, who helps cover the costs of funerals of unexpected deaths. KC Light Tower's professional mechanics are always out in the field and are Deutsch certified. KCLT is there to make sure your site is ready when you are and can certify your man lift and forklift operators on your site or on our yards. Save KCLT in your contacts. 575-308-8647. Surface rental equipment all in one place. KCLT, helping you keep America running. Proud sponsor of the Pena Project.
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio, Jen and Lee from American Legion Post 61. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing pretty good. How are you?
Fair.
I'm hanging in there. Happy Christmas Eve. We were just kind of discussing the plans or the lack thereof off the air. But do you guys have anything planned for the actual Christmas itself?
Sleep.
Yeah, rest, recover, you know.
Yeah.
No little ones in the house to
No.
reveal?
No, I get to sleep in.
Nice.
She's the littlest one in the house.
There you go.
Thanks.
So then this is your chance to spoil her. I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
No.
I'm kind of right there with you. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy a day off. That's the gift to myself for Christmas Day. But the kids are gonna be with at Mom's house, so I got my gifts for them. I'll take them over later. We'll kind of do a late Christmas thing, and that's it'll sort of be how it is. But I think that's sort of how it is for a lot of people, especially like after 2024, because it was just a year that sort of chewed people up, spit us out, and kind of left us here. So with that in mind, holly jolly and happy holidays to you, everybody. Let's talk about well, first and foremost, we just wrapped up Wreaths Across America.
Yes, we did.
We were able to place, I believe it was just over 100 wreaths.
Almost 100.
Almost 100 on some graves here in the Roswell area. So tell us a little bit about how that went, how it came together, and how the event itself was.
So we weren't the only ones in towns that did it, but Post 61, Family 61, we managed to gather enough funds to buy about 96 wreaths.
Okay.
So there's about 300 veterans buried out at Memory Lawn. So we didn't get to put one on everybody's grave, but maybe next year. But we did have folks come out from the community, and we were able to put out some wreaths and honor our veterans.
Awesome.
So.
And that drive pretty much starts now for next year.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, if you want to make a donation, you can go to Wreaths Across America or Roswell Legion. Is it .org?
Yep.
Head over there, and they'll have a helpful link for you there as well. But any donations that are made now, that's going to go towards the 2025 wreaths, and it's never too early to start planning. We want to have a real big blowout for next year, so we can make sure everybody has a wreath and is covered and taken care of.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's actually kind of funny. We had just finished putting the wreaths out. We're not going to pick them up until after the new year. But Wreaths Across America had actually contacted us like 2 days before we even put the wreaths out and said, hey, get ready for 2025. So they're already gearing up.
They're already excited. Yeah, there is no postmortem when it comes to Wreaths Across America. We're hitting the ground running for 2025.
Yep.
Now, we were kind of talking off the air a little bit about some of the less fun things about 2024, but one of the big events that happened this year was the conference was actually held right here in Roswell.
It was in June. Yep.
In June, and that was a huge undertaking for not only for your organization, but for folks all across the state and really all across the region.
Mm-hmm.
How was the event when all was said and done?
I think it actually went pretty well, and of course during that time the fires were going on in Rio Doso.
Right.
So we were able to pass the hat around and raise some funds for that as well, which we were pretty proud of. We had people from all over New Mexico come to our meeting, which was kind of fun. They got to visit some of the aliens because some folks had never actually been to Roswell before. So I know they lived here for years and never been to Roswell.
I feel like if you live in New Mexico proper, it's like a requirement to come to Roswell.
Yeah, at least once, yeah.
Once to Roswell, once to Carlsbad Caverns. You got to hit the hot spots.
Right, I agree. But they had a chance to, and they did, and it was pretty fun. And they really enjoyed their stay. So
very cool.
Thanks for the community for supporting us during that. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we're always looking for folks to come out and support the Legion. Now let's talk for a minute about the Legion itself. If folks out there are listening, if they're a veteran or if they are interested in the Legion, how do what do they have to do to get involved with you guys?
What do you think, Commander?
Well, it's pretty easy. We can be found around town, or obviously, as Sean just mentioned, RoswellLegion.org is probably the best way of getting in contact with you. You can send me an email, commander@RoswellLegion.org, or give us a call, 575-268-0220. We're looking for members all, 365, 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
So if anybody's out there needs any support or would like to know more about the Legion, just get in contact with us. We're always looking for help, too. We've got a cemetery we take care of, Memory Lawn, which, of course, we just had Wreaths Across America out there. So we need people to volunteer to help clean up the spot, stuff like that. I want to thank the community. We've had a lot of volunteers of late, and I was out there for Wreaths Across America. The first time I personally had been out there in almost 18 months because I was stuck in a hospital.
Sure.
And it's green. It actually looks
that's one of the benefits
like
of
a nice,
flood rains, I guess.
Nice, beautiful little cemetery. And speaking of which, we are fundraising right now. Any amount helps. $5, $10, $1 million, whatever you got laying around. We're trying to put in a water system that's going to cost around $200,000. So we're in the middle of fundraising for that. I had a woman contact me a few months ago. She wants to do some crowdfunding for us, but actually I haven't heard from her in about 60 days. But like I say, we need about $200,000. I'm going to be purchasing a new American flag today, and hopefully we'll get that in a couple months, be able to replace the one that's up there. The wind here in Roswell has not been kind to Old Glory out there. In fact, we had a POW MIA flag up there, and the wind was so bad, 1/3 of the POW MIA flag was gone by the time we went out there to replace it the other day.
It was just a PO flag?
Yeah. It was like only 2/3 of a flag left.
Wow.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for the seams of the POW MIA logo, it probably would have ripped through that too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and we found out that probably the wind had sabotaged our light to keep Old Glory lit. So I'm going to be ordering a replacement LED light for that. That's a couple $100.
Seems like whenever you have something like this, you're always just trying to chase after getting things back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really ever work on upgrades because you just gotta keep things the way they were before.
Yeah. Well, the cemetery is a nonprofit, and of course we are too. So everything we do relies on donations.
Sure.
So
absolutely,
if you want to see improvements out there, we desperately need your help.
That's right. You got to dig deep, and you got to do it now. One thing that you brought up back there was the floods that hit Roswell in 2024. Obviously, it devastated just a wide swath of Roswell, and a whole lot of people are still dealing with the after effects. I have a friend who I shared her GoFundMe last week, she still hadn't been able to go home yet because there's so much damage to the home.
Right.
But one of the things that that came from that, or the after effects, was a lot of people finding flags in the area that were tattered, that were torn, that were damaged from the flood or swept or washed away. You guys were doing a pretty good job of kind of gathering those flags up. And have we had a chance to retire those, or are we planning on doing that in the future?
We usually have one right around Flag Day, which is June 14th. So somewhere in there, we'll definitely do a flag
It
retirement.
depends on the sheer number of flags that we have.
Sure.
So if we have an excessive amount, like one year we had like 1,300 flags. So we did a supplemental burning as well. But if anybody has a flag and you would like to have it retired, even if it has meaning to you, we can consecrate it in that way.
Sure.
Or if it doesn't have meaning to you, we can certainly just come pick it up. But give us a call or send me an email, and I will send, probably Don or Jen will come out and just pick it up for you. You don't have to lift a finger. We'll come to you. Nice. We'll pick it up.
That is one of those, and if you never had a chance to attend one of those ceremonies, it's surreal. I mean, the emotions that are involved, because when you serve, the flag means so much more. It's not just a piece of fabric. It's what you're over there fighting for. It's what people die for. So to be a part of that, that consecration, like you mentioned, and to be a part of that with other veterans, it's something else. It
is very cool. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, it's more than a piece of cloth. It has symbolism.
Absolutely.
We don't worship the flag, never have, but it is a symbol of freedom around the world, which is why those who are our enemies would choose to burn it symbolically, because they are striking at the heart of freedom. So when you see someone desecrate your flag, you need to pay attention, because it's not worth getting into a fight over or whatever, but these people have no respect for who we are. And, yes, you can point to things that the United States may or may not have done around the world, and you may not appreciate it necessarily, but everybody's dying to get here.
That's right.
So bear that in mind. You may think how bad we may be, but we're so bad everybody wants to come here.
Exactly.
So.
Everybody wants to be a part of us, so it can't be all that shabby. So we're wrapping up 2025, slapping a bow on. Or
No,
2024.
we're starting 2025.
Let's get in there. Wrapping up 2024, slapping a bow on this year, and heading into 2025. Boy, if only we were wrapping up 2025. We need to figure out a time machine. But as we head into the new year,
if you have a hot tub.
That's right. As we head into the new year, obviously you guys are kind of gearing up for the next year with the Legion. What are the plans heading into the next year? Anything big
we're
planned?
hoping to build our building.
Yes, that's our biggest
We're waiting on engineering drawings from the contractor here in town. Once those are complete, and then the funding picture gets put into place, and we're hoping to start building. Now, that little building, 603 East 2nd, is going to get revamped first. That's going to be our office.
Okay.
That'll be nice.
That's not our meeting hall or what have you.
Right.
In fact, it's not even really big enough to have meetings at. But that's basically where we'll keep our files and records and stuff like that. But 605 right now is still a steel building that's been there forever. Far back as Roswell Livestock used to be there. But we're going to tear that building down. When we first started looking at it, we thought we could revamp that building, but
after a second look,
after we got another look with a new contractor, he took a look and he said, "Nah, just better off just tear it down."
Yeah.
Now, which also means that we're not grandfathered in, so we have to build the building 40 feet off of the street by code. So, but we get to start over brand new.
It's going to be very nice.
For us, we're on kind of a berm, so when the floods came through, the property didn't get hit at all, but we are going to do some abatement.
Sure.
Anyway, just in case, we get a 200-year flood. But,
well, and even those folks who didn't have necessarily, structural or foundational damage, it was so much rain that, there's, roof damage that was done, damage to siding, to all kinds of stuff. So
We're dealing with that actually. So yeah.
So, I mean, taking a look at that from a complete breakdown and rebuild scenario, that makes the most sense, I feel like.
Yeah. And it gives us an opportunity to improve what's already there. So we'll be able to, because that part of the Roswell community really needs additional resources.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're hoping our building is going to be. We're not going to have a bar. We're never planning on doing that. But we will have a meeting space. We'll have a place for people to gather and get to know each other and maybe get some help if they need it.
Sure.
So
just something to keep in mind if you're heading to Post 61, it's BYOB. I'm kidding. He always gives me such a look. I'm like, I'm totally kidding. I swear. Just trying to be a funny guy.
Well, we're not teetotalers, but
You're a little paranoid there, Sean, because I'm not giving you a look at all.
I felt like I felt the heat. I don't know.
No, not at all.
He's like, that's just how I always look at you, and that's understandable. That's how my father used to look at me.
Well, all right.
I don't get paid enough to be your therapist.
That's fine. That's fine. My therapist doesn't get paid enough to be my therapist. Now, obviously, we're a little ways off, but the Four Chaplains.
Yes, in February.
Ceremony's coming up in February. That's always one of my favorite stories. It gets retold every year, just because it's kind of like it feels. I mean, and the story itself is absolutely amazing, but it feels like the start of a bar joke. A priest, a minister, a rabbi. The
a little
way
bit.
it's structured,
I can see that.
It always makes me chuckle. But every year, it's such an amazing event, and it really brings kind of that attention, that reverence to the sacrifice that was made on
yeah,
on that
it's actually a story. If Hollywood were to pick it up, I'd go see it in theaters.
Oh,
so
they did make a movie about it, but it was a flop.
Yeah, they didn't have Tom Hanks in it. That was the problem. Anytime you're gonna do one of those historical recreations, it's got to have Tom Hanks in the lead role.
Yeah, seems that way.
So that's in February.
Yeah, and we're hoping
we're hoping for the 7th. We're trying
7th.
to work out a deal with Roswell High School and have it at that little theater there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 3:00 on February 7th. We got to get that paperwork filled out and sent in today.
Oh, wow.
To reserve the spot. But I've been in contact with the principal at Roswell High, and they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a different a change of pace location wise for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, we used to work out of the First United Methodist Church, 200 North Pennsylvania, but we got kicked out of there because we didn't want to pay for the elevator. Their elevator was going haywire, and they wanted like $2,000 or something. I was like, well, we can't really help the community if we're giving all our money to elevators.
Exactly.
So we went nomadic. Now we meet at the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. In fact, our next meeting will be January 2, 6 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to jump on the new year.
If anybody wants to attend, you're welcome to. It's our regular business meeting.
Yeah, it's open to the public. I realize, membership is important for voting and things, but if you just want to come say,
find out what's going on,
see what we're up to,
learn more about the organization,
right?
Find out, if it's something that you want to be a part of, if you're a veteran or, the daughter of a veteran, spouse
or son or sister or mother, grandmother.
It's a great organization to get involved with. I mean, you guys are always, hitting the streets. You guys are always a part of the community. If you ever go to the farmers market, spring, summer through early fall, you guys are going to be right there, front and center every single time. So it's
we usually hang out at the state fair too, Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
Yep.
So there's lots of volunteer opportunities, lots of chances to get involved, and also to learn more about the organization itself. And,
well, the auxiliary is really looking for people right now. We're a little behind on one of our projects, which is the Charity Bear project. Yep. So if anybody out there has got a sewing machine
and a desire, we'll give you a pattern and you can sew to your heart's content.
Yeah, they're making charity bears. I think they were making charity rabbits and
all kinds of
a couple of other things.
Critters.
It's not fixed patterns and stuff. We're spreading out a little bit here.
Get creative, make the charity Sonic the Hedgehogs, or get creative with the desigin.
Basically, they're just for the first responders and police officers. They have them in their vehicles. If they roll up on a scene and there's little kids, it helps not only break the ice with the adults and possibly calm the situation down, but it gives the kids something to hang on to in a situation that's not so great.
And it lets the parents know that you guys aren't approaching this from like a negative perspective. You're You're just here to offer comfort. You're here to offer support and help.
Right, exactly.
We've also been in contact with the Boys and Girls Club, and we had a Cub Scout pack. We have a Boy Scout troop, Troop 2, and
they just lost
Pack
their
60
scout hut during the floods.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Pack 61 is going to make a comeback here real soon. We just hired a full-time Cub Master.
Yeah, she's very excited. She's even got, she ordered a book on knots and all kinds of other things. So she's super excited.
Yeah, she's got a teaching degree, so she's used to dealing with kids. So
Yep.
this is all good. She used to be a chef.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I only ever made it to Webelow. I wasn't able to get my full Boy Scout certification. I just chickened out mostly.
Yeah.
But knots was always my favorite thing. Like I always loved learning the different ways to to tie like a square knot versus like a shoreliner's knot, different kinds of those things, and very useful too.
Yeah, they are.
If you ever want to like commit a caper, or, just subdue somebody for a few minutes, you need a nice knot,
Yeah,
something
I suppose that's
something that gives them some room to breathe, but not able to get away. That's really what we're after.
Or maybe you want to tie your tent down so it doesn't blow away in the Roswell wind.
or that too. That's also an option. But yeah, it's so as mentioned, the Legion is very involved in lots of organizations here in town and being part of the community. And if that's something that you're interested in, or if you want to help out the organization, again, any and all monies that are donated, it's going to go straight back into projects that you guys have, into the building, into getting that flag, things of that nature. So these are all very important projects, and if you can donate, please do. And I know that monies, especially right now with the holidays, people, funds are stretched into different places. But if there's extra funds, it is the giving season, so now would be a great time to do so.
And even if you don't have the funds, maybe you guys have a few hours that you want to donate, and you could pick up trash in your local community. You could come out to Memory Lawn. And I want to shout out to Paul and his crew. Apparently he heard us on the radio and decided to come out and help right before we did Wreaths Across America. So thank you guys for that.
So yeah, anybody in the listening area, if you can, even if you don't have the monies to donate, if you can donate some time, maybe help clean up Memory Lawn, or commit to one of these projects that the Legion has going on, it's a great way to spend your time. It's gonna do your heart good, and you're helping out a great organization.
'Tis the season of giving, they say.
The Legion operates on what we call 4 pillars, but for our particular family, we concentrate on the children and youth aspect of the Legion more than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
But the other ones include like national security, Americanism,
and VA&R.
VA&R, veterans rehabilitation, that sort of thing. So nursing homes and things of that nature. And of course, that's what our cemetery, falls under, would be more of Americanism and national security.
Sure.
Not so much children and youth, hopefully. But,
Hopefully, yeah.
But a focus on kids and youth is really the best place that the focus could be, because you're putting that on the next generation,
right? On
the kids who are coming up, and let them know that being a part of the American Legion, it's an honorable endeavor. It's something that's going to do you the best good.
Right. We had a few youths show up to Wreaths Across America, so that's always heartening because we get the ability to teach the new generation of what's
and that's
going
one
on.
of the things that's why the Wreaths Across America and American Legion partner so well, is because their mission and ours go hand in hand. Absolutely. It's honor,
That and
remember,
the
and
Scouts.
teach. Yeah, that too, which we're hoping to start up again here in the new year. I mean, after everybody gets
Probably
back in school.
February is what I'm thinking. I mean, the typically recruitment during the holidays is horrible. So
Yeah,
everybody's
busy.
got their hands in other pies. But come start of the new year, you'll be looking to find things for your kids to do.
Absolutely. So so reach out, find out more information. RoswellLegion.org if you want more information about the organization itself, or come to the meeting. You said January 2nd there at the Chamber of Commerce on 2nd Street.
Yep, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and just come with questions. Be ready.
Come meet Mike Winters.
Come meet exactly. There you go. Well, so yeah, if you want, if you can help out the organization, that would be absolutely fantastic. So, do we miss anything? Miss anything out? Anything you guys have else to say?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like 2025 is going to be a year of rebuilding and kind of getting things back to where they should be.
We're hoping that by the time the Reno air races come to town, we'll be ready, because that'll be a nice fundraising boost for us, and we could do a lot more for Roswell.
My kid's mom lives right across from. There was this big steel building they've been basically taken out for the last couple months and clearing out the area. And I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to be putting some grandstands.
Nice.
Right there, right across from her house. She's very upset. It's like they're gonna buzz low my house for like 3 weeks in fall. I'm like, then move. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. But
yeah.
But RoswellLegion.org or come out to the meeting and help out this the organization. You're definitely going to be doing the most good with your money if you help out the American Legion.
And if anybody has a few extra bucks and you want to donate to the Legion for flood relief, we're still taking donations for those, and we'll get them to the people that are in need. A lot of people that we help are, off the radar kind of thing, veterans or, people living hand and mouth and stuff like that. We're not big on donating our money to these huge organizations, and most of them take a cut. We put them right in the hands of people that need them.
Right.
So.
Right.
Absolutely. And you can, if you make a donation to the Legion, you can earmark what that money gets used for.
For sure. Yes.
This is for memory lawn. This is for, the irrigation system. This is for the building. This is for, however you want to have that money used.
This is for children and youth. This is for scouting.
Yeah.
This is for CASA kids or what have you.
RoswellLegion.org is the place to go for all the info that you need to know. Well, Jen, Lee, thank you guys so much for your time. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And we will talk to you guys bright and early in 2025.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
13 minutes, now 12 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with some local news.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Ken Clayton, the chairman and chief executive officer of Western Bank, Artesia, has been appointed as chair of the American Bankers Association's Government Relations Council. The appointment will run to the end of 2025. The Roswell Disaster Recovery Center will be closed for the holidays, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Moreover, the DRC will operate with reduced hours on Tuesday, the next 2 Tuesdays, in fact. Additionally, the FEMA helpline will observe holiday hours on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Roswell DRC offers one-on-one assistance to Chavez County homeowners, renters, and business owners who were affected by the October severe storms and flooding. 2 people have died after a train derailment in Pecos, Texas. This happened on Wednesday night last week. The UP train jumped the tracks and crashed into the Pecos Chamber of Commerce building after it struck a semi-tractor-trailer rig. 2 employees of UP who were on the train were killed. 3 Chamber of Commerce employees inside the building were also injured. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Elon Musk said this CR is criminal. He's not wrong in what he's saying. And it's business as usual. It's swampiness as usual. And it's clear they didn't get the message from the last election. And on top of it now, people that can't balance the budget, can't secure our borders, can't provide a good education for our kids, people that will not resolve the law and order and violence issue in our country, people that have wasted so many billions of dollars on diversity, equity, inclusion, on wokeness, etc. They're going to now, grant themselves a pay raise on the way out. Well, clearly, none of them, Democrat and Republican, learned a thing about what happened in November. That's got to come to an end. January 20th can't get here soon enough as far as I'm concerned.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. Single Care works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check Single Care to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. The defense came up big with two huge takeaways late in the game in the 24-26 win over Tampa Bay. Details after this.
This is Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, teaming up with SWBC. Whether I'm buying a home, looking for a PEO to take care of my HR and payroll needs, or giving my employees the benefits they deserve, I'm turning to SWBC. From personalized home loans to a team of experts to help grow your business, SWBC is your partner. Visit swbc.com to learn more.
SWBC Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 9741, an equal housing lender.
Cowboys Nation is big because everything's bigger in Texas. And Reliant has the energy to power it all. From home field advantage to home sweet home, Reliant has Dallas Cowboys fans all across the Lone Star State covered for every electric moment this season and beyond. Reliant, proud to be the official energy provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Reliant, PUCT number 10007.
Last night, 4 hours after learning they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs because of an early afternoon win by the Commanders, the Cowboys responded by beating Tampa Bay 26-24 at AT&T Stadium. Cooper Rush connected on scoring strikes to Jalen Tolbert and C.D. Lamb. Brandon Aubrey kicked 4 field goals, but the big plays came late in the fourth quarter by the defense on an interception at the goal line by Jordan Lewis, followed the next series by Deron Bland forcing and recovering a fumble by running back Rashad White after a shovel pass from Baker Mayfield. It was Bland's first career recovery.
Baker was kind of loose and we got it to the running back, and then seen the running back kind of had it kind of loose. I was like trying to get there quick, and with the ball, come out there and end the game like that, it just felt good.
The Cowboys improved their record to 7-8. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Upper level high pressure covering our area, and things look good all the way through Christmas Day. Fairly mild. We'll be in the upper 60s to about 70 and sunny today. Overnight looks clear with mid 30s, and then we're expecting low 60s for the high on Tuesday. Should stay sunny. Christmas Day looks nice with mid 60s, lots of sunshine, and then about 60 and fair Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently at 6 minutes away from 10 o'clock, we are looking at, let me refresh this thing here, 51 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, 43% humidity currently, and winds are calm at the moment. The barometer is at 30.08, dew point climbing to 29 degrees. Looking at partly sunny skies, mix of clouds and sun, 74 the high today, winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles an hour for tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of around 33 degrees. Sunny and 62 for your Christmas Eve. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles an hour. And then pretty much more of the same heading into your Christmas Day. Going to have increasing clouds, 35 for the overnight low on your Christmas Eve evening. Then for Christmas Day, mostly sunny skies, 62 for the high, and a 20% chance of showers after 11 p.m. Partly cloudy, a low of around 37 degrees. Mostly sunny and 62 for your Thursday. Partly cloudy and a low of around 37 degrees for your Boxing Day evening. For your Friday, mostly sunny, back to 65 degrees, 65 as well for Saturday, and 69, nice for the high on Sunday. 5 minutes away from 10 o'clock, let us get you up to date with your SRN Market Report.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street is kicking off a holiday-shortened trading week with little market-moving news expected. Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan announcing they're working toward a possible merger. It may also include Nissan's smaller alliance partner, Mitsubishi Motors. Christmas fast approaching, and there's no end in sight to the strike targeting online retail giant Amazon. In fact, the Teamsters walkout is growing, with more Amazon workers joining in the job action. The British economy is still struggling. The latest government statistics show the UK's economy flatlined in the third quarter. It registered no growth July through September. It was previously estimated that the British economy grew by 0.1%. However, revised survey data is out, and it shows weaker business for bars and restaurants in the UK. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Roswell Tire and Appliance has a great selection of brand new refrigerators, freezers, ranges, washers, and dryers, all with special Black Friday and Christmas pricing. With Roswell Tire and Appliance, you can have it in your home for the holidays. Save even more on their selection of scratch and dent appliances. Plus, find a huge selection of tires and the people that can help you get it done. Roswell Tire and Appliance can repair your appliances as well. They pride themselves in service long after the sale with repair warranty, and they deliver to all of Roswell and the surrounding area. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
I'm only going a short distance. I never wear a seatbelt for that.
Seatbelts are too constraining, so I don't want to wear it.
My pickup truck will protect me. Why do I need a seatbelt?
It's a fact. Seatbelts save lives. Whether you're going to the corner store or traveling across the state, wear your seatbelt. Whenever you get into a vehicle, be a good example for your passengers and buckle up. Seatbelts are there to protect you and your passengers, so wear them. Remember, if you buckle up, they'll buckle up. Sponsored by NMDOT and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Coming up on 10 o'clock, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be out tomorrow through Thursday. Gil Gross tomorrow, Mannheim Steamroller on Wednesday, and, of course, Gil Gross once again on Thursday. Merry Christmas to you from all of us here at 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. See you on the other side.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
Acceptable pork barrel spending.
It was a 1,400-page pile of drivel that included a pay raise for Congress, and I ran, and a lot of my colleagues ran on. Our people at home can't afford to fill up a gas tank and a grocery cart in the same day. And I'm supposed to go back there and tell them, yeah, I get that you're hurting, but I'm going to give myself a pay raise.
President Biden signed an 11th hour budget bill into law on Saturday. Also at townhall.com, in a Manhattan courtroom.
Charge you with the crime of murder in the first degree and other related charges. How do you plead this indictment, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of fatally shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, has read the charges against him and pleads not guilty. Mangione's attorney complained during a brief hearing that statements coming from New York's mayor would make it tough for him to receive a fair trial. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said a man set a woman on fire on the New York subway.
As the train pulled into the station, the suspect calmly walked up to the victim, who was in a seated position at the end of a subway car. The suspect used what we believe to be a lighter to ignite the victim's clothing, which became fully engulfed in a matter of seconds.
Police have taken into custody a person of interest in the death of that woman. Orders laying flowers near the scene of a deadly Christmas market attack as investigators puzzle over the motive of the suspect who drove a car into a busy market on Friday evening, killing 5 people. up to 235 injured. More at townhall.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-9534. That's 800-298-9534. 800-298-9534.
2 Navy pilots rescued Sunday from the Red Sea after being shot down by U.S. friendly fire.
The U.S. military had been conducting airstrikes targeting Yemen's Houthi rebels at the time of the friendly fire. It wasn't immediately clear how the Gettysburg mistook an F-18 for enemy aircraft. Meanwhile, Houthi military spokesman Brigadier General Yahya Saree released a pre-recorded statement claiming without evidence the Houthis shot down the Super Hornet. This follows a pattern of exaggerated claims. I'm Julie Walker.
Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan will attempt to merge and create the world's third largest automaker by sales as the industry undergoes dramatic changes in its transition away from fossil fuels. The two companies signing a memorandum of understanding, and smaller Nissan Alliance member Mitsubishi Motors also has agreed to join those talks. Breaking news at townhall.com. The high-end American department store chain returning to its family roots with some help from a neighbor to the south.
Nordstrom has agreed to be acquired and taken private by Nordstrom family members and a Mexican retail group in a $6.25 billion deal. Shareholders to receive $24.25 in cash for each share of Nordstrom common stock. It's a 42% premium on the company stock as of March 18th. Nordstrom's board of directors unanimously approved the proposed transaction, which will give the Nordstrom family a majority stake in the company. Rich Thomason reporting.
Officials are investigating what caused a crack in a Colorado ski lift that forced the evacuation of over 170 stranded skiers. The evacuation happened Saturday at the gondola lift at Winter Park Resort. Passengers were lowered down by ropes over the course of about 5 hours. More of these